Fat. We're the Phat Peeps.
Hey, peeps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast. I am your host today, Joey, and I am here with the Phat Peeps. We got cameraman John.
Oh, hi, guys. I'm eating.
PJ Tech 3200.
Hello.
And Garrick of Big Targets.
Salutations.
And we got some great video game stuff to talk about this week. And of course, Call of Duty Corner. A little bit of indie game quickie later.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get to that,
yeah.
we always like to do a little bit of an icebreaker intro question. Today's icebreaker is, what is your favorite board game?
Oh, God. Oh,
Does
God.
anybody want to go first?
Joey, you go first. I
Go
don't know.
ahead, Joey.
Oh, my sweet
Okay.
Start us off.
I grew up spending a lot of time playing different board games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite board
God.
game because, like, I'm the type of person where I don't like competition against my friends
Because
because I'm
makes you an
very,
ugly
very
person.
competitive.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
and
True.
it makes me hate them down to their core. And I don't like doing that because I like my friends and I don't want to hate my friends.
Allegedly.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like one of the reasons where, like, PJ will always be like, let's play Monopoly. And I'm like, no, you can go somewhere with that. I'm not playing Monopoly with you guys. Because Monopoly is a game built around sin and destroying friendships.
Yeah, but I think just one time. You have to. So many people need to enjoy this hatred that's inside of you.
Maybe once, but, like, I'm gonna, like, super not care.
Also, yeah, Monopoly's kind of like Vegas. Like, everything in Monopoly stays in Monopoly. So all the, like, backstabbing and all
Yeah.
the horrible things you did stays in Monopoly.
The capitalism.
Except for our friend Doug, I still think he hates me for what I did to him in
Oh, yeah.
Monopoly.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
I
ruined- you
royally
ruined his
fucked him.
Monopoly life.
Oh yeah, no, he refuses to play Monopoly, at least with me ever again. I
dare
ruined
you.
him. He's the kindest, quietest soul ever. I turned him to a raging fuck you machine. So yeah, I'm proud of it.
Anyway, to kind of answer the question, we mostly played Risk,
Oh.
like, growing up and in high school.
Oh my god.
So,
Never
you
played
know,
Risk.
What?
it's like, think of
Yeah,
it like
never?
Civ if you didn't have any of the, like, civilization stuff, and it's all just about, like, warring and territory control.
Wait, PJ, you've never played Risk?
I've never played Risk. I watched you
Wait,
guys
what?
play
So-
the Star Wars
Oh.
Risk.
Oh.
Risk.
okay.
Oh, no. We're gonna have to play, like, actual Risks sometime. Because
It's fun, but the problem is it just you gotta
Takes
invest like a half a day to it.
so
Right. So that's the other point that I was going to get to. Risk games are like 5-6 hours long or something like that.
At least,
Right?
if not
Yeah, yeah.
longer.
So I have a Risk treaty sitting on my wall right now
Oh wow.
Nice.
from a decade ago. It's called the Treaty of Arizona Vitamin C Fortified.
What?
Whoa.
And-
Sounds like a Joey name.
At about 4:30ish in the morning, after playing for 6.5 hours, we decided we needed to stop because there were still 3 people left on the board.
It's crazy. How many people did you start off with though?
6, I think.
Oh my god,
You only
only
got rid of
halfway
half?
through?
Holy
Yeah.
poop.
Gee,
I
Willikers.
might have started maybe 7, but
That's
That's
so
crazy.
crazy.
anyway, yeah.
I mean, sometimes the best games are worth the time, but
yeah.
there's a balance to everything. It reminds me of that Munchkin game that we
Munchkin?
played. back
Yeah.
in the day.
Oh, I mentioned, yeah.
That was fun.
It's when it comes to, like, a long board game like that, I feel like the key is for it
Oh,
to
God.
be not so like consuming, right? So
Right.
it, like, has to be set up in a way where, like, when somebody's taking their turn, for the most part, the other players can like just like not pay attention until they're like prompted to, right?
And that
So, like,
frustrates me. Figure out your goddamn turn before it gets to you.
Oh my god.
yeah, well, risk turns just take a really long time because it's like you're actively doing like diplomacy. You're like talking and like making alliances and then backstabbing each other, and like it's crazy. Risk is crazy. We tried to play a different game one time called Diplomacy. I think it's called Diplomacy, where it was like Risk, but it was like if you tried to add more of the like, I guess like Civ, like, and I'm only using Civ as like my point of reference. I don't know why, it's a video game, so everything that I use video games is all my point of references. But it's got like more of the diplomacy stuff, hence the name. So like it still had the board and you're like moving units around, but you're also like every turn going into separate rooms to delegate with the other people in your like alliances.
Yeah.
And I always think stuff like that's kind of fun. Stuff where you like have to kind of role play is like neat.
I guess I'll go next because you guys already mentioned both of mine. I actually chose two. So I chose old school. Monopoly is my one of my favorite games. I enjoy playing it. I get excited when people are willing to play it. So Monopoly, old school choice. I do piss people off because I get in the mood where I'm just like, I'm just gonna fuck everybody.
That's why you like it.
Don't you have a degree in business?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you
he
would
was
like
good
Monopoly.
at it beforehand.
No, I've always liked Monopoly. So, but like I was raised in business too. Like my parents have owned their own business since I was born. So, and I've worked in all of their shops and on the road with them.
Then you should hate Monopoly because the whole premise of Monopoly is like capitalistic monopolies coming in and taking over all the properties.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Walmart came in and like shut your parents down.
No, but I don't. Well, no. There was a lot of other things that had like caused that problem.
Besides the point.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's just something amusing about it, and then the anger and hatred that comes out of it, even out of the most quiet, gentle-hearted people, makes me happy. So
that's the only reason why you like the game, because you're pissed off.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I sit there and
PJ has the
wait.
power.
Like, it was PJ's like least liked game, and then when that happened, that moment it just went skyrocketed to his top.
Well,
Yeah,
no, but it was
has
long
something
before
here.
Doug that I started
Oh, okay.
enjoying that game. Trust me. And I gotta say that one night that we were playing, and it was like all of us, and then I actually got like pulled out or something like that. I don't remember what happened, but the game basically like I wasn't involved anymore. And so remember I made it so like there was almost like a fake government out of it. I don't know how much you remember that.
Nope, I don't remember anything about the game.
Anyway.
except you
Anyhow,
said-
so that was
I'm gonna rant some more.
that's my old game. My new game would be actually Munchkins, but it's putting the time
What is
in to do
Munchkins?
that. It's the kind of
Would that be
like
considered a card game though?
It's still a board game.
Card games, board games. We're gonna count it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Questions now. Tabletop game. What's your favorite tabletop game?
Okay,
Go.
tabletop game.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
okay. So then, yeah, Munchkins.
Yeah,
'cause-
Munchkins.
Yeah, I enjoy that game a lot, but it's
Well,
just
did
getting
you-
everybody
That
on
change
board.
was for you. It didn't affect your answer.
Right. Yeah. So.
It only benefits you, PJ.
But basically, it's like a dumbed down version of like Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
with
So,
cards instead of
Yeah.
paper writing.
Oh, okay,
Right.
that's kind of
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
I
It
think
is a
you'd like
very
it.
prolonged game too, and
Yeah.
it's very addicting though. So we didn't want to stop, but it was late,
It's definitely a fun one.
and we never
yeah.
finished it. We literally like wrote down and marked where all the places of the game was, so we can resume it.
Our
but we just
HP
never
and stuff like
we
that.
never came
Yeah.
back to it.
Before we move on, I want to complain more about Monopoly. Here's the problem with Monopoly, right? It's a super long game where, and it's actually kind of the problem with Risk too, and it's why I don't really play Risk very often anymore, where it's like it's a snowballing game, right? Where like the kind of leaders start to get ahead, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
progressively get more and more ahead,
And
right?
till
But you
the
don't
end of the
get-
mid game, then
But
it's
you don't
like
get
anything can
knocked
happen.
out. Eh,
That's
I've never
capitalism.
seen.
if you don't
yeah.
have very many properties and you don't have any
Yeah.
monopolies going into mid game, you're effectively just rolling around the board,
Yeah. just giving
waiting
money
to
away.
get knocked out.
You can't
Yeah.
just be a small business owner and own one property.
Especially
You have
you
to
know, in
win.
Monopoly.
And it has a lot of like random elements where it will just like screw you
Small
over. It's one of the
business
reasons like
owner.
to jump
Oh.
over to a board game that's a video game, Super Mario Party, which I hate
Ugh, gross.
with a passion.
I
It was
hate.
fun.
I
Because
love Mario
it's
Party.
designed around the idea of like, what if we just do stuff and like
What if points don't
switch
matter?
the game? Yeah, what if points don't matter?
Exactly.
What if we just
Whose
like,
line is that
oh,
anyway?
you landed on this space, we're just gonna take all your stars and give it to
I
somebody
love
else.
it. I love
Take
Right.
the
your
RNG.
stars.
Or
Or
you
even
get to
end
the
game.
end of
End
the
game's
game.
like, oh, special. Yeah.
Right,
It's
and
like,
they give
what?
the special stars away, and they're all like dumb things that like don't matter, and somebody comes out, and it's like,
That's the
why do
beauty
we
of
play
it.
this game?
That's the
And I
beauty of it.
realize,
That's-
like, I've tried to come to terms with the fact that like it's a game for children,
Yeah.
and like
But-
children don't care about that as much. I feel like,
It's so
because it's definitely when I was a kid, I felt
Uh-huh.
like I didn't get as mad about the random stuff that happened in Mario Party.
Okay.
Whereas like when I was in like high school and now as an adult, it infuriates me.
Yeah. It's
Because
like,
it's especially like the new Mario Party, because like there's kind of like board movement mechanics, especially
Yeah.
in the co-op mode, and the game will just like completely just like throw a wrench in your plans,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, cool game, thanks.
Yeah, I think I won a game because I had like the least amount of rolls or some stupid shit like that, and like it's not even satisfying because like, oh, I got a pity win. It was just stupid. Ah, hate it.
It's fun. I like it still.
No.
So
Mini
I
games are
think-
fun.
I don't know. Maybe Joey's right. Maybe I enjoyed it when I was younger, but the newer one wasn't as fun. So I can't tell. But anyways,
I would say
going
part of the reason.
do you guys remember back in high school? I don't know. I think every teacher did that for government. They
Oh,
gave us
Game
a
Monopoly.
scenario.
Oh, different rules of Monopoly.
Yeah, like capitalist or
capitalism.
communist or
Yeah.
something like that, and it was an interesting take on it. It actually,
I don't remember ever doing that, but it sounds
Oh.
interesting.
It was fun.
yeah, I think it added a different dimension to it, and
Mhm.
I wonder if people ever did that for real, like for actual games instead of social.
I think
experience.
I've seen that. Yeah, like there's different rules for different types of capitalist governments and monopolies. I mean,
Gotcha.
communism stuff like that.
Nice. Well, so for my answer, I don't know. Would my first answer would have been Pictionary, but does that count as a
Pictionary
tabletop?
counts.
I have
Okay.
a
Pictionary
I
is
have
also
a
on
board
my
version
list.
of Pictionary.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that's in my top 5 for
Yeah,
sure.
Pictionary is fun. It's especially fun if you're doing it with the right people. Shout
Yeah.
out to
Bridge,
our boy
Bridge.
Shelby.
Bridge.
Yeah, and Mr.
Bridge.
Bridge, David.
Bridge.
He adds a little spice there, but
I love David's
yeah, there's
answers.
a lot of. We created a ton of inside jokes because of the people we were with and the fact that we were playing Pictionary.
Bridge.
But
Bridge.
that's one answer. For a more grounded answer, well, this was gonna be my answer for strictly board games. It was Life. It's Life.
It's
the
Life.
board
That's a
game.
good board game.
Life is a
because-
good game.
It's a very straightforward game. It's
And
simple.
it's low stress.
Exactly.
Like you just move
Oh,
around the
no.
board, and
You
like
have-
yes,
You're
sometimes
not-
bad things happen to you, but it's not that big of a deal.
But
You know what?
and you're not
Like-
mad at people for that because you
Right,
get fucked by the
right.
board game. You're mad at the board
Exactly.
game, and
Yeah,
that's exactly
exactly.
like it's a
Boring.
metaphor for life. You get fucked by
so
life,
that's
not
what I'm-
people.
That's what I'm trying to get to. It's not a really exciting game now that I'm
Yeah.
older, but I played the hell out of it when I was
Oh.
younger with my cousins and all that. And
Wow.
it has it. It's very dear to me, and I'm sure we played this a lot too, PJ. Right?
Life, I
could-
think so.
Yeah, because between Monopoly and Life, I think we played this game a little bit too. But yeah, it's a nice transition between the two because yeah, like you said, it's very like one of you guys said, it's very stress free because it's you start your life as a baby and then you eventually die. We all die in the end. Either we die rich or die poor, depending on your choice.
But you die.
But
It's
yeah,
not even
the
based
end
off
of
of
the
your
day.
choices all the time.
nice
though.
metaphor of life.
I
So
think
be
wasn't the
crazy.
original Game of Life like supposed to be like much more like unforgiving and like what didn't have like a very
Yeah, I was just about to say,
positive
like,
message.
what if
There
you
was like
could just
there was
like
like
die
suicide,
in the middle?
poverty. Yeah, no, I think in the
Yeah.
original one there was suicide and stuff like that.
Wow.
You could just like get so destitute that your
Mhm.
character decides to kill themselves.
Yeah. But then when like I don't know
Bummer.
whoever bought the rights to the games, they could change it so it's more.
Wow. How
you know.
old is that?
Oh, it's really old. I think it was
Oh.
like the 1800s. Or
A lot
like,
of the
Oh,
a
wow.
lot of board games are like super old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just get remade into modern versions.
Yeah.
That's
Are we
interesting.
counting card games too?
kid-friendly it up.
Yeah, sure. It uses.
Should we throw
it's used
Uno on
tabletop,
there?
right?
Uno.
what?
Oh yeah, Uno.
Wait,
It's a good
Uno,
card game.
yes.
Uno.
Oh my god, I love Uno. Back in the
I
day.
remember
Oh, go
in
ahead.
high school we had a High School Musical Uno set that we played with all
Wait,
the
what?
time.
Nice.
How's that different than
That's
just
pretty
Because
epic.
it's
Uno?
big memes, yo, big memes.
How do you
That's
theme
awesome.
pre-theme Uno?
this together once we know who we
Is this just pictures of the high school?
It's Troy and
Yes.
Gabriella and all of them.
Gabrielle
Okay.
and Sharpay.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
what's her fuckface
Oh,
brother?
what's her fucking brother's name?
Yeah, I know. No one knows the brother's
What's-
name.
What's going on?
And he
I don't
he
remember.
tried to be in like other Disney things. He's actually a good actor.
Wait, what? Who are we talking-
I don't. Yeah,
What
I'm
is
not.
going on?
I'm not. I don't. I haven't watched this to remember.
You haven't watched all the High School Musicals?
No, I haven't.
Well,
No.
I'm sorry for
What
you.
are you
I don't
doing
even
with your
remember
lives?
if I
think
finished the
it's
first
past
one.
our time.
No,
Was it?
no. It came
maybe
out
a
when we
little
were
bit.
in high school, our freshman
Oh,
year of
really?
high school.
Well, at that
Oh,
point
I
in
wouldn't have
time,
watched. I don't watch high school.
Yeah,
movies.
I don't
Yeah,
know
was
if
like,
it
that's
was.
I
really...
was already living it. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, why would I
Oh.
watch Fortnite? I feel like High School Musical was like is what like
Mhm.
middle school and elementary school kids
Like,
like,
I'm
watch.
just-
Yeah, like I was
I
like a
can't wait
sixth
for high
grader when it
school.
came
It just
out.
makes me
Yeah.
even more jealous because they were having fun breaking out in
It's like,
musicals
wait a
all the
minute,
time.
yeah, we never broke in a musical.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
like
we could
that's
have.
like,
I
that
just
was
remember-
gold.
You should have went and joined choir.
Yeah, I
I
think
guess
you did
so.
some things wrong. That's
I
your
remember
problem.
watching my
Choir people break out and sing all the time.
yeah,
I
my
break out
younger
and sing all
cousin
the
was
time.
watching High School Musical, and I was like, yeah, I hate to break to you, cousin, but
This
that
is
ain't
not-
high school. She's like, oh yeah, I kind of knew that.
Anyways, going really quick, going back to Uno, that does bring back some memories, PJ.
Oh, it was
of
great.
Playing in the back of your parents' store,
Yeah,
just after school and hanging out.
so much Uno. We played so
Big
much
carefree
Uno
times.
and Sequence and
Sequence?
Yahtzee. Sequence
and
is the one where it has like you pull random cards out and you can put a chip on that one and you're basically trying to get 5 in a row twice.
Huh?
Nice.
No,
It's a really cool game. My mom still has it, so maybe I'll borrow it sometime whenever we have the availability to all
And we-
like hang out again.
And we played a lot of BS too back in the day. That was fun. Simple
BS.
card game.
I think that was more you and like the people we hung out with because I barely
That's true.
played that game. I'm not really into like the whole entire like I'm gonna lie in order to win type of thing.
Yeah, it is a different thought process. You have to be a little more competitive.
And I
in
have
a
a
different
bad
sense.
tell, so
Yeah, you like
not good
have
at
a
that.
seizure or something. Yeah.
I'm not
Anyways.
good at lying.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, I mean, I love everyone's like Monopoly, Risk, Pictionary. Those are like the really top ones. I'm like trying to think of something different.
Yeah, you never want to play Monopoly with me.
Oh,
Well, I
Now
would rather no. Well,
gotta
so
play
what,
it
okay,
now.
so I used to my family when I was really young. We used to have like Friday game nights and sit down and have board games. So playing like virtual, like on the computer board games, doesn't really give me that kind of fun, nostalgic feeling of playing a board game. So that's why I'm always like kind of like I don't really want to play.
well, this is
Wait,
our lifestyle, John.
Wait,
computer
wait.
version of
I have
it.
a question.
Yeah.
So, calling back to a joke that you've made probably multiple times in different formats, probably on the stream and on
Right.
here, whenever you were playing Life with your parents, if you didn't get the doctor role, did your mom ask you why you're not a doctor?
Oh, I never played Life. I never like. I think I played
Oh,
it
okay.
once in elementary school, and I was like, "This is lame. I want to play Monopoly." 'Cause I am also a very competitive person, and yeah, Life is boring to me. The game. of Life is
I
boring.
feel like that'd be
But yeah,
hilarious.
No, no, yeah, no. We didn't have Life board game.
Oh, okay. I want to play Clue too. Like I've
Clue was
always,
fun. Yeah.
I've asked for
yeah.
Clue
Fun.
every single Christmas when I was a child. My dad never got it for me because he didn't want to play it with me. So he
What?
would just not buy it. And then it's like, I think I played Clue for like 5 minutes at a friend's house because he didn't like it and he owned it.
No,
And
Clue,
we
yeah.
were like, yeah, let's
Clue's
play it.
fun.
And then
Yeah,
he would
like
play
that.
it for like 5 minutes. And then we had no idea how to play and he never wanted to learn. So
I feel like it does get old just because you kind of have the go-to descriptions after a while, so you kind of know
Wait,
what you're kind of
is that
describing.
that's the one with the pop-up characters, right?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
kind of you ask like, does this first character that murdered this person have red hair? And then you
Yeah.
start kind of popping down the people that have red hair, and then
Because there's
you're
a
left with
different
that
one
murderer.
where you're just.
you're
Wait,
thinking
you're
of Guess
writing-
Who.
Yeah,
Guess Who? Wait,
yeah.
what?
Guess Who? No, but Clue and Guess
Wait,
Who, right?
which one's Clue?
Clue is the one where you're right, John. It's like, they
Oh,
murdered
Clue,
blah blah
okay.
with
Yeah,
the,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I have
torch
played,
in the
yeah.
library or whatever.
I haven't played.
Guess Who
Clue
gets
then.
very repetitive instantly.
Yeah.
No, I've never been a
Okay.
fan of the Guess Who.
Yeah, no, I've never played Clue. We should try that.
Okay, yeah.
that would
so I
be-
definitely only played Guess Who as well, the
Yeah.
one with the flip-up characters.
I feel like we're gonna have to do a segment on YouTube eventually
some board
of
games.
live board games.
Yeah.
Board games, yeah.
Mhm.
I want to make a board game shout out real quick to a
Uh-huh.
board game that I had growing up that I don't think I played very often because its like rules were super complicated, but it
Oh
had
wow.
dope miniatures
Ooh.
that came with it.
Hmm.
It's called Battle Ball.
Huh. That sounds
It
cool.
was
wow.
like a board game like version of football, like American football,
Oh, I've
right.
seen this.
gridiron,
It
if you
shows.
will,
Yeah.
right?
Never played.
And the objective is to move the ball down the field into the opponent's end zone, but it just had like super sick like miniatures for the
Yeah.
different
It's
teams,
like robot.
and they're
players.
like robot, yeah, they're like cybernetic football players, and it's super cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing this on shelves.
You know what I just thought about? That's a real kick to the teeth as an adult thinking back on it. You know how I was saying like every Christmas I would ask for a Clue, but my dad wouldn't get it because he didn't want to play it with me, or my parents wouldn't get it because they didn't want to play it with me because they like didn't know the game or they just thought it'd be too long or whatever. They'd always tell me Santa went to the store and it was out.
There's
It's like
so
that
many
was-
kids getting Clue.
And it fucking pisses me off now that I think
And
about it.
you're
Like,
but I thought
It's like-
Santa
no
helped the
offense,
elves
Dad.
to make it.
Like, for whatever reason, if you ever happen to listen to this, I'm not mad at you. I'm not holding anger very much anyhow. But come on.
But I like how Santa has to go to the store to get all the.
Yeah,
presents.
that's why I was thinking, like, whenever you would tell me that as a kid, it's like, I'm a dumb kid, so I'm like, whatever, I accept the
God.
answer, an adult told
So
me, so obviously
gullible.
they're not lying. But
So,
it's
which,
just like...
which
but-
Walmart did Santa go to?
Yeah, I wonder if he's one of those people in the books, the Walmart books, where his like ass crack is out and he's wearing like
Yeah.
the oversized sweatpants. He just turns around, he's like, "Uh-oh." Anyhow,
I just have this picture of like Santa like walking through the aisles,
dumpy
like,
and
walking through
drunk.
the board game section. He's just
Ah,
Clues out. I guess TJ's not getting Clues this year.
let's see. We're just gonna get.
Darn it.
This is the third year in a row. Ho ho ho! Son of a
Well,
bitch.
looks like PJ's gonna get a notebook for Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Well, and then that's where my art interest came
Still,
into play.
your child brain didn't question the like you weren't like, but Santa, the elves
He
make
has
the
elves.
toys.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Santa
No,
didn't go to
it
the store. The elves make the toys.
No, I definitely think there was some questioning there, but it didn't go beyond that. I was just like, okay, I guess that's just what it is, you know? So there's that, and then there was only one other toy that I now that I'm thinking back on it, I don't know if anyone remembers, but they had like the Power Ranger sword that Green Ranger used.
I wasn't allowed to have Power Ranger stuff.
Oh. Well, it was a Power Ranger Green Ranger sword that he had,
wow.
like the saber. I didn't get that either. Those are the only two things I ever asked for in my life that I can remember that I didn't get for Christmas, and it upsets me a little bit. So
Oh,
make sure you
Like,
take
we
care of
can't
your
get him a
kids.
sword. We can't get him with swords.
No,
They're
I
running
don't
around
think-
hitting us.
I think it had less to do with that, and that one actually was sold out because it was a super popular toy at that point.
True.
So that I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But come on, fucking Clue. It's over 70 years old. They print hundreds of copies every year. Don't fucking lie to my face about
Yeah.
that one.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a place where you can get Clue.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like,
How
if
dare
Toys R
they.
Us didn't have it, which they probably didn't,
Okay.
there's Walmart, there's Target, there's God forbid anything else, but everything had it. Like, Vaughn's probably even has it during the holidays.
Mhm.
Come on. Anyhow, sorry, my tangent aside.
Okay. Thanks for stalling
Thanks
for me.
for
I
joining us.
finally have my game.
I got you,
Stratego.
John.
The
See,
board game.
that's exactly what it was. This was a Stratego moment for you.
Yeah. No.
Go-
That's
go on.
Stratego is a board game.
No,
It's a
I'm
board
kidding.
game.
Let's go. Come on.
I'm going with
Yeah.
what you're saying, man. I'm
Got it. That was my Stratego all along.
picking up what
Yeah.
you're throwing.
Stratego-
Anyhow,
Stratego.
why
Stratego.
Stratego? Why Stratego, though?
It's like
Is that a
fun-
family game that you played?
Yeah, it was one of the games that we played. But it's like chess, but more.
I find
Yeah,
it with your family very interesting that a lot of the stuff was super educational, or it had to have to do with something being like very, like thought out. Because
Yeah.
even when you were talking about like, oh, your dad bought you Assassin's Creed because it was historically accurate.
That was the only video game. he ever
Oh,
bought.
okay. I was gonna say I haven't played it, but I think I played it once at John's house.
Yeah, I saw it in
Yeah.
his closet
So
with his
yeah,
N64.
it's all so you have like units and they're all numbered, and it's pretty much the bigger numbers can kill the smaller numbers, but everything's hidden from you. So you don't know. You have to kind of memorize or be very kind of
Strategic.
strategico.
Oh
about
wow.
Yeah. And
I
also-
wonder
so-
where
so-
that name came
So
from.
it's kind of like capture the flag. So you have a flag, and you could place your units anywhere you want, and you also have bombs. So I think a certain number, like a certain unit, can defuse bombs and stuff like that. So you have that kind of strategy. So you're supposed to whittle down your opponent's pieces until you get to the the flag and capture the flag. And yeah, so it's very fun
Nice.
because you have a whole battlefield. You can place any unit anywhere.
Wow.
And yeah, it's good old.
So
good
you
old
can really
fun.
create your own Stratego.
Yeah, Stratego. Yeah, and it's like replayability is like
Yeah. I think that's the only downside is that it's 1v1. So usually when we would hang out at John's house, John and David's house, it would just we wouldn't be able to play because other
Yeah, it
people
was off the
have
board.
nothing to do. So
Yeah,
But
same
it was
problem with
definitely fun.
Battleship.
yeah.
exactly.
Battleship's a good game, but like you can only play it with 2 people.
I
So-
couldn't get into Battleship. It's
How dare
too
you.
analog for me.
The funny
What
thing about
animal?
that is that you
Pets?
don't even have to buy the board game Battleship. You can just make your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, but like, yeah, just
I
one of
had
those games
grid
you can
paper.
just.
I had
Yeah,
like Star
exactly.
Wars Battleship, and it was really cool. It's all
Oh.
like kind of automated, so you get to insert. You can like program where your ships are, your capital ships are, and then if you enter the correct number, you'll hear like the Star Wars TIE fighter or whatever sound like
the
beep, 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 and then it's like it's a trap, that was a hit, or something like some voice clip.
Oh,
from
that's
the movie.
kinda cool.
It was pretty dope.
Very cool.
Yeah. I think that
Yeah.
sums
All right,
it up.
everybody say their board games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
Oh,
sums
yeah.
everybody
There's a
up
lot of
pretty
We're
well.
gonna
so that was the one.
We're gonna have to play some board games sometime,
Yeah.
which maybe
Yeah.
we'll do on Tabletop Simulator, which is one of the games on sale in the Steam Summer Sale,
that
which
sounds
is
See, that I
fun.
can get
Yeah.
behind because you can table flip.
Yeah.
Can you table flip in Tabletop Simulator?
Yep, I've seen.
Oh,
people
wow.
do that,
Awesome.
so that's,
Oh, wow.
That's like I think the only way I would play a board game virtually. Just 'cause
See,
you
that's
have that
that's the awesome
interaction.
thing about that game is that it's a bunch of games in one game, so it's
Yeah.
highly replayable. It's like because I'm sure all of you guys have you guys had like a chessboard with like an inner part where it has more stuff and
Oh,
more
yeah,
game
yeah.
boards in
I
one.
had-
Oh,
they,
yeah.
They have that game. That's on sale right now. They
Oh,
had-
okay.
Play
with,
some backgammon.
The
They-
virtual
exactly.
version. It's the same
Uh,
company that makes that. It makes the board.
I enjoyed Mancala as well.
Mancala. Wait, what's
Have you guys played that with the stones?
Mentala?
Ma-
But anyway,
Oh,
let's get to the
yeah.
actual
Okay,
topic
sorry.
that I'm trying to transition to.
We
the
can
Steam
just
Summer
keep going
Sale.
with this. I'm sorry.
No, it is
Uh,
like technically
Childhood.
games, right?
Yeah, it is.
What what games have you guys been looking at on the Steam Summer Sale that are looking
Oh,
good?
I have my cart
Um,
open, actually. I was
Are
saving
you-
it for this.
So we should also say they have like a coupon deal going on where if
Mm-hmm.
you get, was it $30, you get $5 off your purchase or something like that,
Oh wow!
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
What a deal!
So make sure that you spend $30.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Not
Here we are
29.
shilling for Steam.
Yeah, you know how
just
games are
spend.
like $29.99. Don't do that. That won't work.
it doesn't? Oh, now I'm
No,
upset. So
need
you have to spend
exactly
31.
$30 or more.
Of course you do.
Consume.
It can't be.
Just
TJ.
no, just add some like trading cards to your
Yeah,
cart
like a
to push
30.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
like
there you
30
go.
cents transaction or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like, and I don't know, I was saying this earlier, I don't know if this is because I have more stuff, so like there's just less stuff that I want to buy on there, or if the deals are actually not as good. But it just feels like the sales on, like the Steam sales, have been less and less exciting over time. Do you guys
Really?
feel like that?
Yeah, I think it's just as you get older, not only like it starts going out the window as far as what is exciting to you, but like I think we were talking about before the podcast, the best deals are the Valve games, and
Oh,
since
wow.
Valve doesn't really
Yeah.
make games anymore or as much, if you bought them all, you're SOL. So now it's like
So true.
everyone that's saying, "Oh, this bundle is really good." Like one of our viewers, Death, was trying to say, "Get this bundle," and it has like I don't know, 13 games in it or something for $15 or some crazy thing like
wow.
that. But they're all Valve games, and I own 90% of them. So
So true. It's
it
not a
doesn't
big deal.
Yeah,
it
might
doesn't
just
help
be
me.
You have all the games already that are on
Yeah,
sale.
exactly.
Right.
Everything you
Excited in
wanted.
the past.
Right, exactly. So the only games that are above 50% off, or well, above 70% off for the most part, are Valve games. But I mean, there's some other good ones in here. Like, so I'll just say my cart while I'm talking. Okami HD is one that I'm looking at right now. Gary's Mod, which
Sweet.
Valve game, but I don't have.
Wait, what was the first one?
Okami HD. So it's an old PlayStation 2 game.
Commies?
Okami.
Is it about Russia?
Okami.
Oh,
Okami.
It's a Japanese game.
And he's like,
Japanese,
oh,
okay.
commies.
Yeah, exactly.
so
I'm not the only one.
It's about a spirit wolf that has like a brush
Oh,
that
I
he
know
can
that one.
control
Yeah, okay.
and
Oh.
attack things with. So that one I'm interested in. I've been interested in it since PlayStation 2. I just never got it for whatever reason. But yeah, Gary's Mod's another one that I'm thinking about, but it all depends on if everyone's on board with that, because obviously I'm not going to get Gary's Mod by myself. And then Cloudpunk, one that we talked about a long time ago as an indie game.
I don't remember.
So those are the ones that I'm interested in. Cloudpunk probably the most, but that might change just because now I need to spend an extra $1 or no 3
Oh
cents.
no.
Oh, jeez.
But also
That's how they
because
get you.
Gary's Mod is in the air and so is Okami. But I definitely am gonna leave Cloudpunk on that list.
So,
So-
with Steam, what I wanted to also mention about games that aren't really intriguing anymore is the fact that that Steam is no longer the only platform for gaming.
That's true
For
too.
PC gaming. So there's Epic now, there's Origin, and all that. So some of them have exclusives. So you got, or some of them have better deals too. So Steam
Well-
won't only be your only library
Well,
anymore.
good thing. Wait, isn't Origins EA?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, EA
Uh-huh.
is
Which
all
I-
coming to Steam.
Yeah, which I was
Whoa.
also going to touch on here. There's actually quite a few of the EA games here that are
That's true.
discounted quite a bit. So, like Titanfall 2 is only like $10 right now, and
Wow.
it's had quite a large resurgence on the multiplayer front since it's been put on Steam.
See, come on, EA.
so
you could have had
that
this
might be-
large audience a long time ago.
Yeah.
But at least
Uh,
it's getting there.
Slay the Spire, which we spoke about a couple weeks ago, is on sale. It's only like $12, $13, something like that. Insurgency Sandstorm, which I haven't played yet. Have you tried Insurgency, Garrick?
Yeah. I didn't play much of the multiplayer, but like I used to play a lot of the team versus AI kind of scenarios.
Yeah.
Like the
Is that a
co-op kind of-
shooter or is that a tactical game?
It's a shooter.
It's a tactical shooter.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so it's
more
both.
Call of Duty, along the lines of Call of Duty too.
Oh no, because it's just the way that you
Uh,
guys were making it sound made me think of like a tactics game, like squares being moved
Oh, no,
squares and
no,
stuff
no,
like
it's
that.
an
no, it's a first-person shooter.
Okay.
It's like Squad or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't really have many people to play with, so I would just like play the co-op to just unwind if I just didn't want to do anything else. So. It's fine though.
Monster Hunter
Oh
is
wow.
on sale, which I highly recommend Monster Hunter. I think that's a fantastic game. It's a little hard and kind of esoteric, so like for new players, it has a bit of a learning curve. But like nowadays, there's so many good YouTube channels that have like tutorials, like new player tutorials and stuff like that. That it's like pretty easy, even if a game's kind of like confusing, to like just watch a YouTube video and learn all the weird esoteric mechanics and jump right in. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
And that's Monster Hunter and the DLC for it. They're both on sale.
Awesome.
So Dead by Daylight's also on sale. Have you guys tried Dead by Daylight? It's like an isometric, or not isometric, but an asymmetric multiplayer game. Like one player plays as a like horror
Oh yeah, yeah.
like killer, and then the other characters all play as survivors, and they have to like escape.
I only watched some gameplay of it because I know
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I know it's a great game, but once again, I don't want to play it by myself. I think it's one of those games that would be really fun with actual people I know.
Yeah,
So
true.
that's why I never got it, but it was really entertaining watching gameplay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a thing I'd be interested in. I'll tell you that right now.
Wait, you would actually play that?
No, I said it's nothing I'd be interested in.
Oh, darn it!
Peter's like, this is hot trash. I'm not
No,
gonna touch
that's
it
just
with a
'cause he's
10-foot
scared.
pole.
I don't-
It's
I don't-
cartoony though. It's
No,
like
but
very
I'm just I don't
cartoony.
like horror games. I don't like I'm not into the idea of something chasing me or
What if
like
you're
It's a
the
hunting me.
chase?
multiplayer game. It's fine.
Yeah, don't you? Aren't you?
What
like,
if
also the,
what
the
if you
monster?
played as the monster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that the whole point?
'Cause-
Exactly.
well, yeah. So
I
one player
guess.
plays as the monster.
Well, okay, so
You hunt
wait,
everybody else.
Yeah.
way back when
Back in my day,
Left 4 Dead 2
Left
came
4
out.
Dead Day.
When it had the two teams where you were either the zombies or the survivors.
Yeah,
I did play that
that's
a little bit, but I still hated the aspect of it. The thing was, I got desensitized to Left 4 Dead after a while, so I was okay with it.
Yeah,
But
so just give it some time.
Even going back to it now probably would bother me. I feel like the older I get, the more sensitive I get to horror things.
That's bizarre.
See, that's
usually the
that's the
opposite. It's like-
solution. You just need to
I think you're
expose
just
yourself
not
more and
exposing
more.
yourself.
Exposure
enough, which is
therapy.
why, yeah, which is
Mhm.
why you're like
Best
degrading
therapy.
rather than like just kind of.
Possibly it's either that or as I get older, I just get more anxiety.
Yeah.
So
But from fictional characters, I feel like more anxiety in like actual daily
Real
life
life,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
no, but I have to
Exactly.
deal with
Like-
real life all the time.
Yeah.
It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
Okay,
interesting.
so new solution for PJ. We need to force him to play some horror games.
Yeah.
but
Get
I
him
just don't
desensitized.
enjoy them. That's the problem.
Oh, we'll make you enjoy it.
You'll learn to enjoy it and
But anyways, I did take advantage of the Steam game sale.
game?
I bought Tropico 6. Oh
Oh my god.
and it's a great game. I've played a lot of the older versions too. It's basically a city builder. They have a great formula already, and it's kind of hilarious commentary as well. The characters are funny too, so
Yeah, the radio
Yeah.
DJ is always really funny.
and
Nice,
Penultimo is your assistant, and he's always there. And it's really fun. It's a nice throwback. I've been playing it throughout the decade.
One thing I will say about the like Steam sale is that like they have a list of like franchises that have things on sale, right? But like some of them, the games that like there's just like certain games that just aren't on sale, and it's kind of like why,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like so like for instance, Star Wars, both of the KOTORs are not on sale for some reason. And like KOTOR 2 is the only Star Wars game that I want that I don't have on Steam. and it's like not on sale. So I don't know if it's because it's like already only $10, so they don't want to discount it anymore, or like what. But you know,
You have the
it's
Force
kind of weird how
Awakens?
they pick and choose.
Or not Force Awakens. What is it? The new one that's on sale for $30.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till that gets a little cheaper.
That's the one that I was kind of looking at. But it looks interesting. I don't know. I feel like every time I buy a Star Wars game, I just play it for a few hours. And I'm like, oh, this is super cool, and then it just falls out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't care anymore.
All the Dark Souls games are on sale. Some of them very cheap. Dark Souls 3 is only $15, 75% off.
What are you looking at, John?
Oh, dude, I hate spending money.
Okay,
John's not looking at anything.
Okay, so what are you looking at for the stream or for
the stream,
YouTube?
Well, all the Life is Strange series and the Walking Dead Telltale games are all like $4 or less, I think.
Yeah.
Which is dope if you're interested, because I'm more interested in like story-driven games and stuff like that. So that's something I would be interested if I want to spend money. But yeah, I mean, those are really cool games.
I know we got to get back on board and see what we're gonna do for Life is Strange, because I think there's definitely some formulas that we need to work out for that one. It's a tough game because it's so serious, but you can make it really funny. But
honestly, it's like,
do you want to do that?
One of the few games that I would like rather play on my own, just because I'm so invested in the story.
It's a very, very fantastic story, and they did a great job with it.
Yeah, even The Walking Dead, I played Walking Dead, the first part, season 1 or whatever, and that I was bawling by the end of it. It's like
I couldn't play through The Walking Dead because it was too stressful.
It was, and it's like in the story, the ending is just like, holy shit, dude! It's like they really know how to pull your.
I think that's the problem that I have with horror games is it's too stressful for me.
Yeah.
I think Garrett's kind of right in the fact that it's stressful to me because the anticipation of what's going to happen next, not necessarily what happens. I don't know.
Well, horror movies, like, you want to see these people survive, but that's why it's like you're kind of rooting for them. Yeah. But for The Walking Dead, you want to see Clem and I forgot the main character's name.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Their kind of relationship, and you know, you're rooting for them to survive this whole zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The Steam Summer Sales thing is happening. Go check it out.
Check it out.
There's quite a few.
Still the 9th, I believe, of July.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Moving on. Universal Japan announced that they are delaying the opening of Super Nintendo World.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately.
It makes me a little
it makes sense, though.
Yeah, like that's to be expected because of, you know, the state of the world right now. So that sucks. But I wanted to spin it out into a broader discussion about what do you guys expect to see at the Super Nintendo World, and what do you guys want to see? What's like your dream attraction at Super Nintendo World?
I expect to see. Hey, what?
I'm looking at the aerial shot right now just to see what kind of I can guess out of there.
While you're doing that, I expect to see a life-size version of Mario Party.
Yeah.
How would you do that?
I don't know, but it's
like a life-sized game board.
Yeah, and you just carry around your stars.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Actually, no, they could do it like a show style, like a what's it called?
Like a game show.
Like a game show, like the Nickelodeon things they used to do.
Oh,
you're totally right.
Like with the obstacle course.
Yeah.
They can totally do that.
Yeah, and then like at certain spots you get pulled aside to do a mini game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I invented something. If you're listening, Nintendo, please hire me for more amazing ideas.
Yeah,
he can be your HR.
Show, they just pull people out of the audience.
Yeah.
Do they have a list of like rides and attractions yet?
No, they have a picture up though on
I've seen the
Twitter. The Twitter.
Can't really tell much from it. That's one problem.
So looking at it. It looks like there's some kind of ride in the middle.
Because I think
like,
I feel like I
Koopa
see some
shells, I
like
think.
Mario Kart-esque type things.
Yeah, it definitely needs a Mario Kart, like a
Yeah.
Mario Kart
yeah.
track.
Right, there's got to be some kind of
Needs to have
Mario
that.
Kart.
But
I think
nothing beats real life Mario Kart
Yeah.
in Japan though.
Oh yeah, dude, Mario
was fun,
Kart
John.
was so fun. Okay, so in Japan, when Garrick and I went to Japan, we drove on the streets of Japan, Tokyo, on go-karts, in go-karts. And it was so fun.
Amongst real cars.
Yeah, with real traffic.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that if you guys are wondering, like, well, how are we not going to stop traffic? Well, in
It's street
Japan,
legal.
it's not like America where
Oh yeah, that
we
too.
go 100 miles an hour on in a neighborhood. We actually like you go much slower in Japan, so go karts can actually keep up with
Yeah.
the flow of traffic, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty
It
fun.
still seems a little scary to me though.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
not only-
it's like you're driving a smaller car, like a smart car or something.
Yeah,
it's like street
exactly.
legal.
They should
And not
do
only
Mario
that-
Kart bumper cars.
and
Oh,
not
yeah.
only that,
The balloons.
not only that, they drive on the left side of the road too,
Yeah.
so it does throw you off a little bit
Yeah,
at first.
I got used to it
but
pretty
yeah,
quickly. I
it's
was
not
like,
bad.
yeah.
It's just like as long as you know how to drive, the basics of driving is
Yeah, the same.
still there.
Also, you have
so.
a guide there the whole time, so it's like if the stoplight turns red, you're just like, okay, we'll just stop with this guy.
Yeah. Well, there are
So-
some times when you get cut
Yeah.
off by actual
But they have a
traffic.
back guy who
Yeah.
kind of goes up front to guide you if you
Yeah.
get cut off from the rest of the group.
Anyways, we digress. Go
But
ahead.
I would want a Luigi's Haunted Mansion, like Disney's Haunted Mansion
Ooh.
style
Yeah,
ride. But
yeah,
Luigi's
100%.
Haunted Mansion.
That'd
Well,
be
if
kind of
they-
cool.
If they do Mario Kart, can they do Rainbow Bridge?
So here's the deal.
Rainbow
Have you guys
Bridge.
looked at the pictures?
It goes above the sky and everything.
Yes.
Have you guys
Gross.
looked at the pictures?
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at them right
looking
now.
at it right now.
Okay. It doesn't really look like
It's
they
very
have a Mario
small.
Kart thing.
No.
It's like it's really
It's
small.
like a
It looks like a
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it's a
about to
Yoshi
say.
thing.
If they
and
do
it's
have it,
it's entirely Mario centric.
yeah, that's true.
That's
But if they
poor
do
Luigi.
have
it's,
it-
it's not really a Nintendo world. It's more Super Mario World.
Oh, I guess. Well, because if they do have Mario Kart, it probably would have been like a simulator.
that'd be
You
so
know, like
lame.
the Star Wars
Uh,
ride and stuff.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I feel like if you're gonna have Mario Kart, it should be actual go karts.
Yeah, exactly.
true.
But I feel
It's
like,
Like
that's,
at
that's
that
the
point,
state
you're like
of,
wasting the potential.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the state of theme park like attractions these days. It's just screens, and
Yeah,
motion simulators.
that's
which
the
Yeah,
way
I
it
suppose.
goes.
Yeah, because you don't really have a lot of room to work with.
Yeah.
And you know, like Universal Studios has always been a kind of more like immerse you in a IP experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to say like the Harry Potter like park and like they're not that big,
Yeah.
but they're just like super immersive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like that's what they
true.
try to
It's got
focus
really
on.
cool technology too, I guess.
Yeah.
I do, but Universal is really bad at hiding that you're on a ride. I think Disney does a much better job at like hiding the tracks and just the kind of the facade.
That's
where
true.
Universal,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Universal Studios kind of just because they make movies, they're like they leave it wide open. Like, oh, that's a facade. We're just gonna
I was
leave
about
it.
to say, yeah, because you can see the back parking lot with all the buses and everything in one of the
Yeah.
photos. I find that
But-
hilarious.
Right, but you're
So-
not going to be able to
No,
see
you don't
that
see
from
that.
inside the park.
No, I know. I
because-
just think it's funny with the aerial photos.
See,
That's all.
from this perspective of the photo, it seems like it's more geared towards little
It's
kids.
definitely a
'cause
kids thing.
more of like a Toontown or Small World kind of
Yeah.
situation.
I see something here called Factory.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, I see that.
one
too,
of the
yeah.
buildings looks like it says factory on it. I wonder what that's going to
Wow.
be.
Like, and
because
that's-
I
that's
figure
like
if
a
if
sewer
you
too.
if you actually step in there, you'll probably be done with the whole area within
Mm-hmm.
maybe an hour or two if there's no lines.
It's dense too.
Yeah,
It's,
I
like,
just hope
really
like
dense.
the fact that it's really small. I hope it's not limiting the potential of Nintendo because that's a lot of cool stuff that they could do with that whole theme.
Yeah.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah, it would be cool. It would be
Maybe
different.
it might be a mushroom factory
Oh,
because it has like I see a little mushroom logo. It might not say factory. It might be Japanese text, and
We're just, like,
like
singing
yeah, it could just be
Yeah,
like
I see it.
katakana, and I'm not, and I'm trying to read it as English.
Yeah.
Interesting, like looking at like the kind of like elements of Mario that they chose to highlight. we have like the pyramids and like the sandy whatever area. I don't know what that area is called, but you know what I'm talking about, the like pyramid areas. Um, and then it looks like they have like a Bowser's Castle, which, you know, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of it. Not really any like no like water like zone. They
Yeah.
kind of have like the jungle area, I suppose.
Yeah. I just found a picture of
no airship.
No airship.
I don't see no airship.
Yeah, they
Which
need
I
to have
think
an airship in there. I think that makes a
Castle?
difference.
Yeah.
Castles? Definitely. What's a cake thing?
On the far right?
Yeah, the far right.
That's Princess Peach's castle.
Yeah, I was about to
she
say, I
has
think
cake
so.
thing. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's like the
wow.
facade of the castle.
Yeah, I found a picture
And it's still in construction. You can see like it has all the stuff around it.
But there's a picture of Waterworld,
Scaffolding.
the attraction, the show, and right behind it you can see the hills, like the cartoony hills of the Mushroom Kingdom. It's kind of pretty
Nice.
funny. Pretty funny seeing that.
So, what? Like, if you could have like let's go. If you could have a Mario themed attraction, what would your Mario themed attraction be?
Mario Party.
I feel like wearing just
Mario
random
Party,
costumes and everything. Like all the costumes
So
from
like you
the
walk
play.
in and they give you costumes.
Like you get to choose if you want to
You walk in and they hand you a Tanuki suit and say,
Yeah.
"Put on the suit."
Well,
Design.
it would almost be the same as you know, like the Star Wars lightsaber building thing.
Oh, that one?
So you like pick the color of the lightsaber, but instead you pick what character you want to be, and then you have their powers or like their abilities or whatever in this.
The funny thing.
In the thing.
Oh, the funny thing is, we did exactly that with the go-kart thing.
Oh,
We
really?
got to
So
choose our
then-
own costume, and we drove around in
I
a
was
costume
Luigi.
in a
Oh, wait, no.
go-kart.
But you stay in that costume throughout the park, and then like that particular costume or character that you're using, like gives you certain abilities or things that you can do throughout the park. Kind of like with Harry Potter, whenever you have a wand, it interacts with the stuff, but instead it would be your specific character. So, like for instance, if you're Luigi, and it gives you a pen or something, and you're recognized as Luigi, you can get through like a higher place or whatever, or I don't know, little things like that. Or if you're Peach,
You get access to
certain
different parts of
things.
the park
Right.
based on the outfit that you have on.
right? So then it would force you to have like a team of people that are each individually someone. That way you can get access to more things.
I don't think you understand how theme parks work, PJ.
Well, I mean, but like little
yeah.
Easter eggs.
Yeah,
I'm not
it'd be
talking about
cool, yeah.
everything, but
Okay,
like have one for each character at least.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
it would be better if like you like rode a ride and they gave you like some kind of upgrade card or like like they give you like a fire flower, and then that fire flower you can like show somebody to like access something else.
No, they give you
I get
a
what you're
shining
going for,
star.
but like without the suits, because I'm like,
It'll have like a
like-
wristband or a hat. Like
No,
a-
they
you
should
get to wear a hat or
award
something.
you shining stars, like the actual, like proportional to the size of Mario. So you would get like giant shining stars that
And
you
they're
carry
super heavy.
around. That's how.
I
it
mean,
would
they can just with
be for
balloons.
me.
You just buy the golden.
Yeah, I was either gonna say balloons or stuffed animals, but the balloons would be cheaper for them.
I want a one of those like skydiving air tunnels, right? Where you like the artificial skydiving tunnels. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But it's just got like the cloud and like the airship aesthetic. And
Oh yeah, and you're on it. You have a
and there's,
Tanuki
like-
suit on.
and at the bottom there's like cannons that shoot out plush coins, and you have to try to grab the coins as they fly past you.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Noise.
Noise.
Okay, so on a broader perspective, a Nintendo park.
Oh.
What kind of Nintendo thing do you want? Like, we're talking like Hyrule, like
That'd be cool.
Super Zelda World.
Super Zelda World
Oh.
theme park.
I kind of want to see like Samus stuff, right?
Samus stuff.
Like that's the thing is like I feel like the
Yes.
dream is like an actual like Mario park, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you walk in and it's like imagine like Disneyland, but instead it's all Nintendo themed.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mhm.
like the main like downtown Disney and like the like main Street USA,
yeah.
and the castle is like Princess Peach's castle, and like the main street is like the kind of like Toad Village towns that you see in like Paper Mario, right?
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then all the other like places could
branches
be like
off to
other
different
themes,
worlds.
right?
Yeah.
So like Adventure Land is like
Savage
Hyrule,
World. Oh, yeah,
and
that
like Tomorrowland is like Samus theme, so it's all like space and
yeah,
stuff
that'd be
like that.
cool.
They
And
have so
like,
much potential. Oh,
right, there
they
is
need to
so
do
much
it.
potential.
But
But instead,
definitely
they're just like a
Samus.
small part of a bigger park, unfortunately.
Like definitely Samus. I didn't really get to play a lot of Samus's games, but I really
never played any
enjoyed
of them.
playing her character in Super
Smash.
Smash. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. They did like a Super Smash setup where you get like
Oh yeah.
sock and boppers for your hands, and then you like
It's
you pick your characters and then like punch each other with the sock and boppers.
just- don't
So
think I'd
much
let you do that
potential.
in a theme park.
You know what, John? Let me have my
I'm gonna,
dreams.
I'm gonna have to kill all your dreams.
You know what? They're gonna take this, and it's gonna happen, and then you're gonna be upset because
Especially
you're
now,
wrong.
I think they're gonna like want like as little like contact with like individual people as possible.
You know what? This is why I don't design the theme parks. okay?
Sorry, PJ.
I am not an
Sorry,
architect.
PJ.
I am simply a businessman.
It's like they're gonna have to clean up all those, wash those costumes that they.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if it's gonna
That's-
be
Well,
a
everything
long
will just be
turnaround
like
time.
virtual then.
Virtual.
Yeah, and then you just clean the headset when the person leaves.
Oh, gross. Yeah. They do
That's
that.
probably what's gonna happen. And then there you go. Now the characters have special powers, and they have
Wow.
access to certain things, and you can wear the
Oh,
costume.
whoa.
Well, wear your own costume.
So it's like a huge theme park, but it's like whole entire theme park VR. Like instead of just
it's
rooms,
like
you have VR.
you're actually in a
Yeah.
dumpy
Theme park.
alleyway.
So there is no theming.
This is an open
You
warehouse.
just put
Empty
on like
warehouse.
Yeah.
hologram like AR
Whoa.
glasses.
Yeah, everything's like painted white. So if you take off your glasses, it's just like white, plain, walls. But there's rides and stuff. But the themings change, which depending on what you choose, right? So it's like you
Yeah.
get
That's
on the
actually
roller
kind of
coaster-
smart.
Yeah, you get on this roller coaster. You're like, I want Metroid World themed roller coaster for this ride. And
Well,
then-
you know,
It's like
you-
imagine if you get on Space Mountain, but you could pick what your
Yeah, you
Space
can
Mountain
theme.
theming was.
You
at
You
the
know what
beginning
it
of the
reminds
ride.
me of?
Yeah.
It
It's kinda
reminds
cool.
me of what is it? Valerian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where
that
the
movie.
supermarket, like
Yeah.
intergalactic supermarket,
Yep.
where you just put on a VR set and you're there.
Yeah.
I think there's potential. So in maybe a couple centuries, we'll get
Yeah.
that down.
Hopefully. So you won't see all the vomit and stuff. It's just gonna just be.
Yeah, it's just on your
You
lap.
see whatever you're seeing.
Well, I don't know. I think you'd still see the vomit because that's going
Oh,
to be like
true.
Oh, it's
overlaid
like
on
it's
top
an
of the
AR
white
kind
walls.
of thing. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking
It's
just
still gonna
full
be
on
there.
VR. It's like you have the play space that's actual physical, but everything you see is virtual.
it's like you step in, and like the actual park is just like a bunch of rooms, like dark
Yeah.
rooms where you step in and you put on like VR goggles and
Oh, I'm
step
just like, you
onto
step
an
on the theme park?
omnidirectional treadmill.
Yeah. No, I'm
No,
thinking,
it's just
no,
rooms with omnidirectional
Okay,
treadmills
you can do
and
that,
VR
that
sets.
too. If I was thinking like if you
Costs
have
are super
space-
low, and you got an entire
Yeah,
theme
that would
park
probably
that
be.
can,
Yeah, that probably.
that can be
much-
like changed, like entirely changed on the fly, or
Yeah.
like you'd have different theme parks. Go
I
to
like
any
the
theme
idea.
park.
Yeah, I do like the idea of like actually touching a wall and it's there. Cause doing the what's it called what is it called? The one in downtown Disney, the virtual reality. What is it called?
Go
PJ,
on.
do you remember?
The Void.
The Void, yeah, the Void. You can actually so there's R2D2. You see him in the room, and if you go up to them, there's actually like a physical statue of R2. So it's like this one-to-one kind of physical and digital interaction, which I love when they do that in VR. So it's like if there's a wall there.
Oh wow.
Not like in if like your home VR set, it's like the wall's invisible, so you can't really interact with it. That's I think is the future. Of VR.
That's really cool. I don't know. There's a lot of potential to it, and I think that there's gonna have to be a lot of overhaul in how we do amusement parks in the next few years. Otherwise, it's just not gonna happen.
All right. Well, moving on to more Nintendo talk.
Oh wow!
Uh,
What kind of Nintendo talk?
just last week, the
Okay.
Pokemon Company
Oh.
held a direct and announced Pokemon Unite.
Why does it say
Oh.
forehead afterwards?
I don't know. Anyway, it is a Pokemon MOBA 5v5 designed for mobile and Switch. Partnered. It's a partnership with Tencent,
No. Oh
and
no.
it's being
Oh.
developed by the developer Timmy. I want to say is the name of the developer. They develop. I want to say they're responsible for some of the other
Mobile, straight to mobile.
mobile games, and I want to say they do Call of Duty mobile as well.
Oh, it is actually Timmy.
I'm indifferent towards that because Call of Duty Mobile is, I mean, it's the best mobile shooter that I've played, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
That's not saying much.
That's why I was so angry when you kept on playing Call of Duty Mobile. It's like,
Because I didn't have regular Call of
don't
Duty.
insult people who have played Call of Duty. You're insulting yourself because you used to play Call of Duty.
I mean, for a mobile game, it did all right. But anyhow, that aside, I'm kind of interested to see what Pokemon Unite will be like. I've been kind of itching to not necessarily get back into the MOBA scene, but just try something different. I think it'd be kind of cool. But you know, I'm not banking on it being good. I'm gonna bank on it probably being trash and me not playing it after the first week. But
yeah,
I'm intrigued to see what it's
Same.
like.
It's a mobile game.
Like I'm totally against playing it, but that's because I'm just burnt out from playing League of Legends like for almost a decade already. So, but if you guys try it, I'll probably try it, but
I feel like we have to do
I
at
won't
least
stick with it.
one YouTube burner video on it.
Nope, I'm not touching
no,
anything Tencent has
I
or
don't
anything.
think no, it doesn't deserve to be on
Yeah.
our YouTube.
The thing is like I love Pokemon, so
I do
like
too,
honestly, if you apply Pokemon to anything,
Oh, see, no,
I'm
that's
gonna try it. And
That
I
Kool-Aid,
already-
though.
Well,
It's
I guess
Kool-Aid.
maybe not
Yeah.
anything because like I have no intention really of trying like the Pokemon Cafe mix or like obviously like Pokemon Smile. Like,
I'm not gonna
trying
lie,
to-
probably
no,
gonna
I
use
will-
Pokemon Smile.
Yeah, I will use Pokemon Smile to brush my teeth.
Well, maybe. I guess it's not intrusive.
Yeah,
Then
true.
I guess is the thing you do. Anyway, point is, like I like MOBAs, and I like the idea of a kind of like simpler MOBA. I'm very interested in the idea of like applying MOBA elements to Pokemon and like how that's gonna work, and like the idea of like just like I love when you take like something that you know and then apply like other video game elements to it, right? So it's like it reminds me of like Tier Zoo, right? Are you guys familiar with that YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Where
Tiramisu?
Tier Zoo, where he
Oh.
treats
tiers
the
and
animal kingdom
tiers.
like it's a video game, like a MOBA, and he
Wow.
like breaks down like animal stats and like gives them abilities and stuff based on
that
like their
sounds cool.
actual abilities in real life, right? Or like we played a game of a different MOBA in the past called Adventure Time Battle Party, which was a MOBA based on the Adventure Time cartoon series, and it's super silly to like apply the MOBA elements to these characters that you know from this TV show. So it's like and like Garrett Green, to get this, like you have like AD Gunther and like AP Lemon Grab, bruh. Jungle Rattleballs. Like and these are like things that we talk, like me and my friends talk about to this day. So
Yeah.
like
It's a very
like,
meme-worthy game.
I'm very ready to like be joking about like
Charizard's ultimate or something.
ganking or like hey, is your Charizard ult ready? I'm gonna gank your lane with Lucaria.
That sounds really
Like
inappropriate. That's gross.
I don't know. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
your
we'll see,
Jigglypuff
we'll see.
ready, girl.
The thing, so let's take it back. I want to ask. So it's a little weird for personally to see Pokemon hype or or them hype up this game like separately from everything else when they could have
All
just
right.
probably tacked it on, because
Right.
they made people wake up at 6 in the morning to
Well, they
experience
didn't
Which
make
they had
people
a
wake up at
presentation a
6 in the
week.
morning.
but also the
before.
fact
the
that
presentation's designed
was
for a
this
Japanese
something-
audience.
true, but was this something that people were expecting? Because I have a feeling
No.
that a lot of
No.
people
Not at all.
were speculating, and
thing.
this was
The Poke
coming out of
Reddit
left
is-
field.
Is yeah, people are very, very upset about this, and kind of rightfully so. So
John,
leading
his
up-
community. We're
No,
pissed off,
no,
okay?
No, the Poke
to-
Reddit are a bunch of.
My community is
Yeah.
pissed off.
It's not my community because they were
I'm a
all
moderator there.
like me. They're pissed off at Sword and Shield, and then every one of them. I can't assume every one of them, but most of them went out and bought the game anyway. Saying when they said they were gonna boycott.
Anyway,
Shield.
let me-
So
let
they're a
me
bunch
get
of
through.
traitors.
John stood his ground.
Yeah, I still like.
Wait, hold on, Joey. It's just like EA fanboys. They say, "Oh, I hate EA," but
Yeah,
they're still
pretty
gonna
much.
get the
Oh
game.
yeah, or Call
Call
of
of
Duty
Duty fanboys,
fanboys,
yeah.
like
Exactly.
boycott
Fanboys.
the next Call of Duty, and everybody.
Oh, I
else is-
boycotted
I'm
2 in a
not-
Sorry, Call
row.
of
I'm
Duty.
not loyal to any brand, so I will
He ain't
not
loyal.
touch your. I will not touch your game
See-
if I don't see any improvement.
I
Alright, go
did
ahead,
do,
Joey.
yeah, see, I did that with Call of Duty. Like, I stopped after World War II, and I just, like, I didn't buy them for a couple of years because they were just getting to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous. Then I saw Modern Warfare, and I was like,
Yeah.
did
It just never
they
hit
finally
right.
fix
Okay, wait.
themselves?
Before
Okay,
we
go
break
ahead,
off
Joey.
onto tangent, let me finish
Okay.
what Gary
Yeah,
asked.
talk about
Okay.
Yuki.
So last week they had a separate direct where they announced like some other things, and Pokemon Snap was part of that announcement, right? And then at the end of that, they announced that this direct would be happening, right? But didn't say what was going to be shown.
Yeah, it was like,
So-
oh, it's gonna be a.
They didn't necessarily like promise anything, but it just
But-
set up the unknown,
Yeah.
which allowed
Yeah.
people to speculate, and
Well, if you have
people
a
always overhype
presentation-
themselves.
Yeah, if you have a presentation, like, okay, oh, tune in next time because we have another thing to just talk about. That thing must be really important.
Right,
to
it makes it
break
sound
up
like a
that
big deal.
Presentation.
When in reality, what this probably is that Tencent
Yeah, Tencent
paid
paid for
for
it, yeah.
an exclusive announcement,
Yeah.
so that it would be able to dominate the news cycle a little bit more,
Mhm.
right? Of like, because like if they had announced this last week, like let's say after Cafe Mix and before Pokemon Snap, nobody would be talking about it and nobody would care.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
Right,
Which no
it
one
would have
should
just
be.
been like
Yeah.
a thing that had happened in the other event, but Pokemon Snap though.
I feel
Yeah,
like, I
right.
feel like Pokemon Snap would have demolished anything else they would have put out
And
besides a
I
new
think
Pokemon
Tencent,
game.
I think Tencent knew that,
Yeah.
so they
Makes sense.
like either demanded or paid for exclusive payment or placement later on, so they
Now-
again would be able to, so that there would be more air in the room, more oxygen
Yeah.
for that fire to burn.
Now
Yeah.
that you mentioned that, I'm starting to not like the fact that I said I might want to play this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
I'm
because
disgusted.
of the marketing attempts. It feels like another EA.
It's so yeah, it's just so.
Well, that's
it's so
Tencent in a
gross.
nutshell. Tencent
Like-
is the mobile EA.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like literally just if your game's good, let
Yeah,
it
exactly.
let it grow on people itself. Let people play test it. Let the news cycles, let the journalists play test it, and then we'll see if you like it then, instead of trying to do marketing ploys like this.
Right. No, I get where you're coming from. I'm gonna try it. Like I said, I don't expect much out of it.
Yeah, because like honestly, coming from being a MOBA player, like the pinnacle has been set by all these other MOBAs that have been out already: Smite, League of Legends, Dota.
Yeah.
So what else does this have to offer besides
Just
Reskin.
Pokemon.
Well, I
It's
think-
reskin.
I
It's
think-
reskin.
Well, no, but I think there's an
It's a
element of
clone.
it being like simpler, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's for
it's a
kids, I
smaller
guess.
Yeah.
field, and the games
It's the
probably
same
don't
thing as
take as long.
Minecraft
right?
dungeons.
Yeah.
It's
Because like
just-
Mhm.
not everybody is willing to invest 40 minutes into a league match.
Well,
you know
not
what
only
I mean?
that, but League is such a rabbit hole, especially now. Like
Right,
the barrier
exactly.
to entry of learning the game is
There's
just
so many characters, there's so many
Mhm.
abilities, there's so many items.
I think
that,
it
and the
just- that just
gameplay
says-
is tough.
That says more about the genre of game than anything.
Yeah,
Right, but I think there's something to be said about simplifying the genre, right? Like that's why I
Mhm.
think I really liked Adventure Time Battle Party, because
Right.
it was like it didn't have all of that Like you didn't have to worry about items as much, and you didn't have to like super focus on like matchups
I feel
because
like
there weren't as many characters and stuff like that.
I feel like Smite's that perfect middle ground because Smite feels like it's not as like difficult of a barrier to entry. Like you can pick up Smite and be moderately okay with it because it doesn't have that
I don't
top
know.
view.
Smite's gotten to the point though where it has like as many characters as League.
Oh, it has.
So the
And
learning
then it's
curve
sweatier.
in terms of knowing what the characters do, like that's kind of ultimately a lot of the main issues with getting into a MOBA is that there's so many characters most of the time, and you have to like know every character's abilities, because if you get matched up against them and you don't know what they do, they're just gonna like
So
beat
my
you.
question is, do you think Pokemon Unite is going to be so true to the Pokemon form that you're not going to have to really necessarily learn what they do, just like how their skill shots work?
No.
Right. Yeah.
There's
like,
no super effective. There's everything that you know about Pokemon is not in that game.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like
but the
Pikachu does is
Pokemon-
a lightning strike.
Right,
So it doesn't
exactly.
matter.
then-
Lightning strike just because there's no elemental damage.
No,
or
but
That's not what I'm
so
saying.
you're like focusing too hard on like. Of course, it's not going to have type advantages that would break the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Pokken doesn't have type advantages because it's a competitive fighting game. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you have to strip some of the elements out to make the franchise work in like a different game genre, even if it's not, I suppose like
not the
true
essence
to the
of Pokemon,
franchise.
yeah.
I just thought about
Right.
something. I want
But
Pikachu.
again,
Well, I don't know. See, that's the
that's
thing.
that's only how like sacred you take the idea of like the type matchups.
I
You
want
know what
Pikachu
I mean?
to be an 80 carry. I just thought about that.
I don't know what that means.
I want him to shoot lightning
Pikachu probably
bolts.
would be in. No, Pikachu's probably like a mid mage.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. So then,
You probably have like a line lightning bolt ability that takes out ads, and you probably have like a targeted
Take out
like
ads?
circle that you can
Like
just like
sponsorship
like
ads?
Thunderbolt that you can just drop anywhere like a skill shot.
no, like minions or creeps.
Probably has a skull bash that you can use to get away.
That ads is more of a Smite term.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I like the idea of like taking
Theory crafting characters.
the
and stuff like that.
Pokemon and applying MOBA rule sets to
Who
them
would be
and
an
like
80
seeing how
carry?
that all shakes out.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. But we're coming from a MOBA perspective, or I'm sorry, mobile perspective because of Tencent. So let's hope they actually take notes from actual MOBA
No,
developers.
well they will, because Tencent is developing Wild Rift, which is League's mobile version. Like
They've worked on other mobile.
they've been
MOBAs
around
in
for
the past.
a really long time. Yeah, I have a little bit of faith in them. I'm just saying, like, as far as
the
how
development
it plays
studio,
out,
the development studio that's making it was pretty faithful in recreating the Call of Duty elements in Call of Duty Mobile. So I feel
They
like
did.
they'll apply the same kind of attention to Pokemon.
I feel like there's
in terms
elements
of like Pokemon movesets and stuff.
of Call of Duty Mobile, that they could apply to a real game, like the full on games, that would make them better. Not gonna lie, it's little things. It's like just how some of the things work, but if they applied some of them, like for instance, like just the way that they have the maps in there, because there's so many maps and it's from every game. It doesn't matter what who the developer is.
It's like a best of Call of Duty basically.
Right, and I feel like that should be included in the games regardless. At least with the games that get big, like Modern Warfare is at such a huge, substantial point, they could just remake the maps and throw them in there.
Oh wow!
Like, I know that's just me saying, "Oh, it's so simple." I know it's not simple, but look at the player base.
They tend to retheme it to the whatever the campaign or whatever it's.
I'd rather
I don't
just
know.
have the maps
I would
redone.
too. I would too.
And then then they like have those put out in a bundle at the beginning of the season. Not like you buy them, but you know what I mean. Like they release them all at the beginning of the season or whatever. Then they just focus on making new maps. I don't want to go into it yet because we're going to talk about Call of Duty Corner later. But yeah. Anyhow, it will be cool. We'll see.
No. See, my biggest gripe about the Pokemon company right now is they're so dead set on like just mobile, when even their mainstream, big game was pretty much a mobile port. It's like,
Well,
Pokemon Company, put out an actual game.
so that's the other
Okay.
element about this. So everybody's like upset that they didn't announce like a new Pokemon, like a new mainline Pokemon game, or like a new like remake of. People are expecting like a remake of Pearl and Diamond. People are expecting like Let's Go Johto, like
I'm okay
Let's
with
Go
them not being
Dunsparce, like. But like the thing that I think people are missing on is that, and as long as they don't announce anything coming up, it means that they're taking a year to like an extra
Yeah,
development year to work
yeah.
on the next Pokemon game.
Yeah, I don't expect
right?
them to announce something right now just because they released, their mainstay
Well,
game.
yeah. So that's the
too.
thing is they're not even done getting out the DLCs for Sword and Shield.
But
So
with the direction they're going at, I am not confident in what Pokemon Company has
well,
in
it's
store for
just
us.
they took so much backlash from Sword and
yeah,
Shield
let's
that
see if they
even though
learn.
it sold well, they took a lot of like critical heat for it.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if in this case we're going to see a longer development cycle on the next mainline Pokemon game to make up for that, to try, and you kind of see it in the DLCs that are coming out, because they've announced that the DLCs for Sword and Shield will all be wild areas, right? The like open, move your camera around type of areas in Sword and Shield. That was only kind of a small part of Sword and Shield. And I think that's a response to everybody going, I wanted Pokemon but Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Right?
They were too scared to do it.
I'm hoping that this like lack of announcement means that they are taking time to focus more on like evolving the mainline franchise a bit.
Yeah, it needs to, because it's the same formula over and over again. It needs to kind of evolve. I mean, it's about evolution. Pokemon evolve.
And
Why isn't your game evolving?
It's like because there's an element of like the Switch games don't make nearly as much money as like their mobile stuff does, right? Like that's just kind of the way it works, right? But that's kind of the way a lot of things work nowadays. But it needs to be like a goodwill type of situation where it's like if you put out good, awesome mainline Pokemon games, people will be more willing to play your side mobile game garbage because they have a more favorable view of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
whereas we have
stuff,
like John here, where you're like, I hate all the Pokemon stuff right now because Sword and Shield was garbage and I want no part of it.
Yeah,
right.
Well, Unite is just because of MOBA, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't like MOBAs either, but like there's an element of like the Pokemon Company kind of needs to redeem themselves. Also, I'm bummed out by like I kind of hate that they always focus so hard on Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah, they do.
Right? It's like looking at the Pokemon list that they got. They got the 3 Gen 1 starters. They got Pikachu.
8.
And then they got 4 other Gen 1 Pokemons. Clefable.
Why would there not be Pikachu?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. Is like the top 4, sure, right? The Gen 1 starters, Pikachu, sure, right? But then we got Clefable, Gengar, Machamp, and Snorlax.
You just have 2 Pokemon from other.
Greninja could be an 80 carry. I just thought
right.
about that.
We could have fit other characters in there. Why didn't you put in some of the other Pokemon that won like Pokemon of the Year? Like, why is Umbreon not an option? Why is Greninja not an option? People love Greninja, right?
I wonder how you could even do Umbreon though. Like, would he be a support?
Sure. I don't know. Assassin. No, Umbreon would be a jungler assassin.
Okay. That makes sense.
I don't know. No, I don't know. It probably stat-wise, Umbreon would actually be a tank. Umbreon has like more tanky defensive stats than it does like physical attacking stats.
If you guys are interested in this, come to John's stream. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk more about it
because there's a lot to say.
Anyway, it's just like I wish that they wouldn't focus so hard on Gen 1 Pokemon all the time. Like I think that I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself because even though like I am a person who started at Gen 1 and have the nostalgia for the first games, but I also
It gets tired of
love new Pokemon.
It has
right?
the Spider-Man
love all the new
complex.
Pokemon.
You get tired of getting
Well, it's-
reset every time.
Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
because they love these first gen Pokemon so much, but yet the design for the new ones have
Has
changed.
gone so
Like,
far
it's completely
awry.
different. Yeah, they've gone
or
so
astray.
far the other direction. So it's weird. It's like, do you not like the new designs, or what's
I
up?
don't
What's
know.
going on?
And this is kind of a different
It's like-
topic for a different day, but like I disagree with that argument. Like there are some designs that like there is maybe a little bit more busyness to the designs, but
Yeah.
there are a lot of designs that would fit right in with the Gen 1 designs in my
Mhm.
opinion that people just don't like
I
they
feel
like willfully put aside so that they can be like, look at all these bad designs.
Yeah.
Like all the Pokemon designs are bad now.
I feel like
It's
we
like, but
can't
look at all
have a
these other
Pokemon
good
discussion
designs.
with you guys because it just it
It's
goes
gonna be Pokemon
way
talk.
out.
It
of
It
This
goes
is-
off the rails.
Pokemon Porner.
Literally, we should
Pokemon.
only
Pokemon
have
Place.
Pokemon.
like-
Pokemon Plaza.
Plaza. There you go. Pokemon Plaza.
exactly. We can have a Pokemon and Call of Duty corner at the same
Yeah.
time, and it would
Pokemon
take like
Plaza.
3 hours.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
next subject topic?
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah,
speaking
let's
of-
move off of this to some battle royale stuff.
Oh, dabbing.
Mobile
Fortnite.
games.
Fortnite.
Dab. Fortnite Party Royale. Fortnite doing a thing where
Doing
you can watch movies. You got
Okay.
like movie nights.
Wow.
You can log in and watch feature-length Christopher Nolan films.
It's so random.
It is random, but I think it's
so
cool.
random.
It's a good step
yeah.
in the right direction.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just better choices need to
if
be made.
kids want to watch a movie in the video game, sure, why not? I would not. I would rather want to watch a movie on my own or with a group of friends in front of a TV without other characters running
Mhm.
around in the front.
Jumping in
I
front
agree.
of the
Yeah,
screen,
jumping in front, but whatever floats their boats.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
mean,
shooting their guns
people.
into the sky.
Okay,
Yeah.
put this into perspective. People go online and watch bootlegged versions of movies with people's heads in the way, and people getting up and walking around, and kids kicking people's chairs and shit like
But
that.
it's immersive. It makes it feel like you're at the theater.
I disagree.
I get where you're
nonetheless,
coming from.
It's the same idea.
But you don't go out of
It's
your way to
free.
do that. You wanna avoid
It's free,
that.
exactly.
It's
But
free, yeah. I'll go watch a movie if it's free. Like if I wanted to watch one of these movies, I'd go watch it. I mean, I might go watch Prestige. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Prestige is really, but all these movies, all Christmas.
I've already
Christopher
seen
Nolan
them
movies
all,
are
but-
very good.
I-
They're great.
I
can't
find
go
it very interesting that they're going with
Well, Christopher
like,
Nolan.
the Party Royale is the same thing, that it's like a different server where they've hosted all of their stuff, right? Like the
Oh,
different
okay.
concerts and right. But
Okay, so
and
it's
like
not
those
in
have
the
been
actual-
generally,
Right.
like teen focused
right.
for the most part, right? I find it interesting that they're going with Christopher Nolan movies.
Inception, I
and,
believe,
like-
R rating. Prestige, R rating. Batman Begins, PG-13.
Yeah, and it's like
Mhm.
Inception and The Prestige are heady movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like
not the dabbing on the haters kind of.
right.
movies.
It seems like a weird like audience disconnect where it's like
Yeah.
and
You think-
maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about like the Fortnite audience, but like when I think of the Fortnite audience,
It's younger.
I think of I feel like it generally skews to a younger demographic, right?
Yeah.
And like an older demographic can probably watch any of these movies on one of the video services
Exactly,
they pay
yeah.
for because they're adults.
yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. It's like they're trying to aim towards the younger audience because generally speaking, they're not going to have the money to buy these streaming services. I mean, I'd say that they have them arguably anyhow because their parents have them.
If
Yeah.
this was the 3 Batman movies, it would make a whole
Like,
lot more sense.
Avengers, all the Marvel superhero movies,
And even because they've
Well,
done
would
Batman,
make
like there's a
sense.
Batman
You know
skin
what?
in Fortnite and stuff.
It
like,
probably has to do with Tenet that was
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
release.
That's what I was gonna say.
Just hyping up Chris Nolan's
Yeah.
stuff, but because it was delayed, I guess there's no longer a valid reason for it.
Yeah.
But it was a nice
But
effect.
again, like,
I mean, it's a reason why
Fortnite
kids stuff is selected.
kids.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
are they
reasons
the
why
ones that you're
Fortnite-
like
It's
trying
fine.
to
Parents-
advertise Tenet
Parents
to?
these days don't care.
Yeah.
Well, the
Well,
parents
I
will
just
probably
mean,
sit
like,
there
the
watching
parent-
it with
yeah.
them.
Well, yeah, maybe, but like, well, but I mean, like, the kid children don't have like money, and you can't really anyway nowadays to be like, I'm gonna go to the movie theaters and watch this new Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have to ask their parents,
Yeah.
and also like I don't know.
Yeah, how do
I
they
feel
do
like
that?
these
It's like,
movies are gonna go over these kids' heads, and they're not gonna like care.
Well, here's the deal.
I mean, that's cool action.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's the majority of the gaming community in Fortnite are probably teenagers and children, but the other parts of it, that should probably be enough for what they were looking for, because what is their gaming base? What, like 70 million or something, or more? Like
I
100
don't,
million?
I don't know if
It's a
it's
lot.
that high anymore, but it's definitely over 60, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
I think it
'Cause
fluctuates depending on the season.
their
and when it
goal is
starts.
just to get people
Epic
to start
says.
talking about Christopher Nolan, and I think it works.
Where's Epic
Yeah.
at?
Oh no, I was just reading that. Never mind.
Oh,
Okay. But what
Oh
I
yeah,
did,
here we go. More
Oh,
than
go ahead.
350 million players
holy
Oh, that's
crap!
it.
as of the new season.
So let's say there's only like
But I mean, how many of those players are actually
Are
playing?
active, yeah.
let's say
Right,
there's
those are probably
only
just active, or those are
let's
probably
say it's
just
only
registered
10%.
accounts.
Yeah, I mean 10% is
10%.
still a lot of people.
35 million people. 10% of the target
True.
audience. That's a
True.
lot.
I mean,
so
that's. I wonder what Call of Duty's active is.
I think
'cause-
70 million. That's what I got confused with.
Okay.
It's definitely not as big as Fortnite because it hasn't been out long enough, and it's a totally different
It's
audience.
total
so-
audience, maybe.
Yeah, but
I feel like
anyways,
it's bigger in general, like active audience.
what I wanted to spin this out from was, I want to talk about Party Royale a little bit more. I don't know if we talked about it in previous weeks, but
Not really.
it's an interesting take because this is seems like Fortnite's attempt, or Epic's attempt, to stay in the game longer by becoming less of an established game, which they are, but
More of like a
adding
media.
a feature of community to it, a social
It's like
community,
like a social
to
media kind of thing.
kind of get people to gather there first, and then say, hey, you want to catch a game with me, buddy? Then you get into it, and that's how you retain your audience now.
Not only that, but like Fortnite's been way more dynamic in terms of like changing up the game space, like by changing the map, changing the items, changing the tools that you have available to you in a way that like other battle royales just haven't, right? Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty, since it's been out, or like actually let's look at the Blackout, right? Over the entire course of Blackout, at no point did the map change.
Right.
Right. At no point did really like new weapons get introduced or anything like that.
I think
right. Whereas
Warzone's doing a better job at it, though.
You're right. Warzone
By
is doing a
far.
much better
And
job.
now they're
at it.
adding events,
but again,
and things change.
Still, the events in Warzone are find a phone and go to a bunker. Right. They're not like grand changes that are like event
like the spy
level
event last
changes.
season and
Yeah.
right.
like that.
Whereas Fortnite is
Flood.
willing to like
Destroy their map.
destroy the entire map,
Yeah.
flood the entire map. You know, like they're willing to make these big changes that not only change the game and keep it fresh, but become like events of like, bro, did you hear what happened to the Fortnite map?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be
And-
honest. When I heard the flood, I jumped on YouTube and like searched it up
And looked at it,
watched
right? 'Cause it's
I was, like,
interesting.
interested, yeah.
And it's like, whereas like, you know, Call of Duty, the most you can say is like, hey, did you get the blueprint from the phone thing?
Oh,
And
that
it's
was
like,
so
yeah,
frustrating.
I
when we
did.
did
That
it.
was
Cool.
frustrating.
You know what I mean? There's no like big level, like interesting
Yeah.
thing to go see or
It might
do.
be a stepping stone though for
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Like,
I
Right,
think
and
they're
something you have to
definitely
work
doing
up
more
to.
than most other battle royales. That like I was saying before we started the podcast on this particular topic, I find Epic's approach interesting because it is a not MOBA, it's an MMO approach to a game and a shooter style. Because they focus on community and like interacting with the community, which that's an MMO style. That's how MMOs stay around for so long, because they are so dynamic and changing, and there's constant events and things are always different and the metas are shifting constantly. I feel like the meta shift isn't so much of a prominent thing in Fortnite, at least from the few like seasons that I've played, but everything else in that formula is there for them. That's being borrowed from an MMO, and I congratulate them for that, because I feel like they're one of the first that realized that a shooter can be that and doing it well.
Spot.
But I think, yeah, I think they're hip with the times. Like, at this point in time, like Epic's always been on top of things,
Yeah.
so they're known for doing that stuff. But so my point is just, I just want to point out like that Warzone is young. And I feel like there is potential, and we've already talked about briefly how they're going to be implementing a new map eventually. So there's that, but maybe they'll go the way of how Fortnite accomplished it by transitioning to that map in a story-like manner through events or something. So we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like it's more likely for Call of Duty that the way they'll do it is they'll just introduce a new map that's based on the like different game for that year.
Yeah.
And it'll have like weapons from that game.
Yeah, it could be. But who knows? Like, maybe that's just not their style. Maybe they're hoping to carve their own path. It might be hit or miss. We'll see.
I feel
Which is like, not to jump into like a Call of Duty speculation, right? Because they haven't really announced the next Call of Duty. But like, if you guys have noticed, the background, like the main menu background in Modern Warfare, looks an awful lot like Chernobyl.
Right? Yeah,
which makes me think that, and all the speculation rumors about the next game being Call of Duty, like Black Ops Cold War or whatever, it leads me to believe that the next map is going to be Chernobyl, and it's based off like Black Ops.
Okay, so I feel like we're already transitioning, so let me just call Call of Duty Corner really quick.
Oh, yeah. Here we are. We made it.
And then,
do you use a soundbite?
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, that was perfect.
That's so cool.
Oh
wow.
My god.
Wow. Call of Duty Corner, guys.
I love it.
So, in Call of Duty Corner, we had a big update this week.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Warzone getting 200 players.
Whoa.
Oh my god. How's that possible?
Crazy. I'm pretty sure it's what they wanted before, like from the get-go, and they like have worked their way up to it. Yeah, that's a lot of players. Right now they only have it in quads. Definitely gonna make Call of Duty the most, and with like the gulag and respawning stuff, it's 100% the like most action-packed battle royale game on the market right now.
Crazy.
Probably close. Like I would say that Apex is probably close. But like just that like player count. Apex has less players, but it has a small map and it has respawns. And the games and the matches are a little quicker. So
speaking of before we move on really quick, I just want to mention that Apex Legends, they changed their map too, right?
Yeah, Apex actually has two maps. They have two different maps.
Oh. Yeah. So both are
and they
active?
cycle between them.
Okay.
It's actually kind of a point of contention because some players don't like the map. Yeah, so it's like when this map comes into rotation, they're like, I hate it. I don't like this map, and now that's the only map I'm allowed to play. So
yeah, I don't want to linger on it too long, but I just want to that happened pretty quick. Like Apex was barely released last year, and they already had that second map going. So.
Oh yeah, no, the second map in Apex came out very, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the Call of Duty Corner. Just ran out of the corner real quick to talk, and then we ran back in.
Yeah, we came back. Giant.
Yeah, 200-player Warzone. That's a lot of players. I hope that they get 100-player ground war going, because originally that was supposed to be a thing, and it somehow.
What is it now?
Pretty sure it's 64-player.
Oh, 64.
Okay. So it's 32v32, like you would get in Battlefield.
I thought it was like 70 something for some reason.
But
Yeah,
you know,
'cause
they
the
recently
ground.
had the 100 player battle royale, or what was it called?
Warzone battle.
Warzone Rumble,
Rumble, yeah, that's what it
right?
was.
Where you had
Yeah.
like 100 players and a pretty small, or I think it's 100
Yeah.
players. I assumed it was 100 players. It
Oh,
might not be
It
100
yeah,
players.
was, I
with
believe.
uh
No,
Yeah.
75, 70. That's where I must 80. That's what it is.
Oh
yeah.
wow,
Oh,
that's
okay,
a
it was
lot.
80 players. Okay.
I believe so.
Still, that's more than
With
64.
ground
So if
war,
they could get
Yeah.
that ground war numbers up, that would be
yeah, there's a lot
very
of
cool.
potential for that because I feel like whenever I play ground war, there's a lot of pockets of me running, and then once I get to the
Yeah.
action, I die right away. So
Yeah,
that's why I
it
don't
has
play
that
it.
battlefield problem where like
Yeah.
the way that the way that the front moves around the map is dynamic,
Yeah.
and if you're not in the front rotation, or if you're like following it, you're just not doing anything.
Yeah,
You have to like
exactly.
go the other direction and catch up with it, or like
So like a
die
happy
in
medium.
spawns.
Yeah.
So a
I feel
happy
like
medium
those-
from Rumble would be great.
Well, I'm pretty sure I read this when they were like announcing the game. 100-player Warzone was, or not Warzone. 100-player Ground War was the design like spec from the get go, and they couldn't meet it.
Oh,
So I'm betting
okay.
that the maps are designed for 100 players, but the game mode doesn't support 100 players currently.
Right.
So they feel a
Gotcha.
little sparser than they would if it actually had the amount of players it's supposed
I
to.
definitely try it again when they upgrade to 100 players. It'll definitely be a different feel.
I also like it when they do the like. I kind of wish they would do a ground war mode that was like more realistic and had like longer respawn time so that it played slower and people were more like careful about their stuff.
True.
And if it was more like, because like I love how like the idea of like working with your squad and like moving to like take an objective and like
Yeah, that's the downfall again. It's like another Battlefield trope where you just use your teammate as a spawn point, and there's no tactics
just
involved.
sprint into the action constantly.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Whereas it would be nice if like, or if they did some kind of like round, like I would love to see a ground war if it was round based, where you only have one life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the objective is to capture as many flags before like
Everyone's
your
dead
entire
and the
before
timer's
yeah
out.
your entire team
That'd be
gets knocked out or
interesting.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be like super interesting
That
and
would
like
be
a
much
totally
more interesting
different.
to me. It'd
Why
be
don't just like search and destroy?
yeah. That's what I was
Ground
gonna
war.
say.
Team search and destroy.
Yeah,
But on
that'd
like
be
a
so
grand
cool.
scale, right?
Yeah. Grand scale search
Dang.
and destroy.
I can only imagine because that hasn't been done ever or ever thought of.
Maybe make it so you can revive people
Yeah.
so that you can like pick people up so that it's not just like you get killed and you're out. I don't know. That's totally separate from this update. This is like dream talk about
Yeah, that
potential
sounds
game
so
modes in
fun
the
though.
future.
Ah,
But right, it sounds cool. And like that's the thing about Call of Duty is I feel like with the new maps and stuff, there's a lot of potential in Modern Warfare for them to do other interesting game modes, right? Like I would love to see them repurpose the Battle Royale as a like Tarkov like thing where you like load in with nothing and then or you like can go in with gear and you have like an inventory and your objective is to like collect equipment and then get out with it. You know what I mean? And like, you know, you fight other players and stuff in the middle. I don't know, just like interesting other things that aren't your simple either battle royale or multiplayer options. You know what I mean? Like something different. Like take the formula, or not the formula, but like the framework that you have and make a different formula with it.
exactly.
Anyway, what are supply run contracts?
So basically,
okay, go ahead.
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, PJ. You got it.
It's basically like one of the contracts. You pick it up off the ground and you go to a specific location within a certain amount of time, and then it's at like a buy station usually, or I think it is at a buy station, and it gives you like discounted things for your whole team. So it's kind of like a fire sale. But
like a
Just for
personal,
you.
like a
personal
squad fire sale.
Yeah, so you can. It's the same thing. So you can like revive your teammates for free, get free self revives. Things are like a certain discount. So
Cool.
I think that would be interesting to
That
see
sounds cool.
that one.
What I like, so what I want to wonder about this is, will it cause conflict? Because that's the whole point of all these events and contracts and stuff, is to bring more teams together so they start fighting. So
It depends
what
on how many there are on the map. If there's a bunch, then yes. If there's only one or
will
two
it
in each
will it
area,
bring
then
him
no.
to the same buy station? With that would be very interesting.
Yeah, like, so if there's 10 on the map in one area and everyone runs to that buy station that's nearby, or the 2 or 3 buy stations that are around it,
Yeah.
that's what's going to create the conflict. But if there's only, like I said, if there's only 1 or 2 in each particular area, probably not.
Yeah. It's another unique feature
Yeah.
that would I can't wait to try that one out.
It'll be different. But the
They added spotting scope,
that I'm super excited for.
Yeah.
which
What
I
slots does it take?
believe. So I don't know what slot it takes yet.
It takes equipment.
Does it? I
Prob-
assumed it was your
tactical.
equipment slot.
Tactical?
Yeah, your
Tactical.
tactical
Okay,
slot.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so like instead of running a baby monitor, you can run a spotting scope.
That's
which
what I
allows
would
you
do
to
because I snipe. So
yeah, so you can look long distances without
I like
glint and get the lay of the land. I think it also marks targets. I might be wrong about
yes,
that.
The
it
name's
marks it
spotting,
like
right? So-
yeah, it marks it kind of like
It's
a
basically
drone.
like using the spotting scope in Battlefield.
I like that.
Yeah,
So it'll be really good for me because I am always usually at distant, and that would be good because now we won't have 2 or 3 of us with baby monitors. We'll have one, and then I'll have that, or Garrick will have
Yeah.
that because he snipes as well, and
What
it
do you
will
want the
even out our team
non-sniper to
better.
have that, like as a spotter to help you?
Well, the thing
The
is,
sniper
like, I
It
think it
doesn't
would
have glint.
still be best on
Right,
PJ is because of the glint.
Yeah, so what
I'm thinking
basically
about
I'd
more
use
realistic, I
it.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it makes sense. Like if we have
Yeah.
2 people with it, you have a spotter. That would be
Yeah.
cool. But
No,
I
that'd
think
be
it's
dumb. It'd be dumb because you'd be like spotting, and then you have to like take it down and then bring up
Yeah.
your rifle.
but
for
the
the
with the
purpose,
scope,
if you,
yeah.
for the purposes of Warzone, I think it
Yeah.
would make sense.
right. That's the only thing I was thinking because like I can't stay zoomed in the whole entire time because then you have the glint on the map. Whereas with the
Yeah.
spotter scope, I can.
You'll be because with the glint, you'll be caught out from another team, even if you're not looking at them or you glance that way briefly.
So
Because there's so many times where I'm just watching the movements of another team and they spot me just because I'm spying on them with
Mhm.
no intention
Shooting it.
to kill them or shoot them.
Yeah.
So this is where things like this is where the perk spotter is gonna get a huge buff because now this is gonna be something that like takes you off the grid other than with that perk. So
Yeah.
John running that is actually gonna be a great advantage to us because we're gonna know
Yeah.
someone's looking at us.
But that's all we're gonna know. We don't
No,
know.
it tells you
how
the
far they
direction
are.
though.
Yeah,
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 director. But I don't know if it's
but-
through a scope or is it like right next to us.
Yeah, because of the
Right.
spotter scope, there won't be a glint to to confirm.
I think it's
that
gonna
per-
be a really OP
'Cause-
tactical attachment. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm excited for it nonetheless. It's gonna make things different and cool.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
excited
definitely.
to use it.
Should be fun.
What
Oh,
new update game modes for Modern Warfare and Warzone?
So next, so just the typical, like every patch or pretty much every couple weeks they change the game modes because
Right.
they had like a whole library of game modes, like hundreds of game modes, so they keep on rotating it.
Yeah, shoot the ship
Yeah,
is
game mode
back, I
rotation.
believe.
Yeah, PJ's favorite.
and
But there's
then-
also
there's a new map.
Cheshire
Yep.
Park.
I'm excited for that one. I want to try it.
Is that a totally new map? Or
It's
is that a
completely new.
remake?
It's
Okay.
completely new,
Mm,
and it's
okay,
a
I see.
3. Well, no, I know your your thoughts
Go
on
on.
it are
Yeah.
possibly going to be bad, but it's a very broken down, easy 3-lane map. It's not anything.
Oh,
like,
it's a small. It's for
Okay.
small
It's not.
fights.
It's
Traditional.
Yeah, it's traditional Call of Duty map.
Oh,
So
I
I
just
think it
wanna
will be really
say-
good, and a lot of people are praising it.
I really like. Normally, I don't like gunfight 3v3, but
I like
last
3v3.
last week's gunfight was really fun because it was
I feel like Team
3v3,
Tactical.
but with mosh pit. So you're actually playing actual game types and not just 3v3 TVDM.
It's basically Team Tac.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for anyone that played the original Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4, it was Team Tactical because that was in.
Call of Duty 4 is the original Modern Warfare.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, both titles for it, but that was Team Tactical. Anyone that played that was very fun. And then Modern Warfare 2 had it, but they had Team Tactical third person. And I actually miss the third person. I wouldn't mind doing that again.
that
It
was
was a
interesting.
really weird spin on the gameplay, but I kind of miss it a little bit.
How much? I bet they have that somewhere in their library, just waiting to.
Third person stupid sucks.
It
Yeah, the
depends.
You can
pinging's
just lay
annoying.
behind walls and then pop up and shoot people when you see them.
It was
It
fun
is
to
very
try
try
different
hard,
things, though.
but it's different.
So yeah, that I'm excited about those. And then Warzone finally has the drop down, like the broken down menu where it says Warzone, and then you go in there and it has all of like quads, which
Oh,
has the
good,
200, the trios, duos, and solos, and then it has blood money or plunder, whatever one it's out right
But
now.
hey, going back to Modern Warfare, I wonder what Team Defender is. Is it just like protecting like
It's
your
protect the flag
VIP?
bearer.
Okay.
So there's a flag on the map. It's kind of like in Halo. You remember?
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
skull or whatever.
Yeah,
So it's the
that was-
person
that was a
carrying
good
the
time.
skull. So it's basically like that. I think the person that has the flag still has a gun, so they can defend themselves.
Gotcha.
But I played it once earlier. It's slow and it's really just TDM. That's all it feels like.
Okay.
So nothing crazy.
Anyway, Gulag changes.
Yeah.
Semi-auto
Oh, yeah.
rifles and snipers.
I'm super excited.
Wait,
John's gonna be
snipers?
pissed. Yeah, they put snipers.
Oh no, I'm okay. So snipers is not about the sniper. It's about there's no way to counter it. I
For
like sniper
Gulag?
v sniper. I like sniper v sniper.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
okay.
But you know, I think that's the fun
I'll
part
take
of it is in the Gulag is that it's so close range that it's so
yeah, because
stupid.
when we played 3v3
Right.
snipers only, that was fun.
Yeah.
Because you had the everyone was on an equal playing field.
So
Yeah,
everything in the category, including probably the FAL, everything like marksman rifles and the sniper.
No, FAL's probably not in it.
because it's considered an assault rifle.
Yeah.
Wait, semi-auto rifles.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I guess you're
Might
right.
be
It
in
does
there.
say semi-auto rifles. It might
Yeah,
be
we'll
there.
see.
I wonder if they're gonna do variants of the rifles as semi-auto too, like an M4 that has single shot.
Yeah.
So I'll have to see on that. I'm intrigued.
Curious.
And then
I doubt it for the M4, but I could see like the A Max with the M67.
well, no, because the
rounds.
M4 has oh no, the M4 has like the other rounds. Never mind, you're right.
It has the the SOCOM rounds, but you
Yeah.
can still fire that in
Oh,
full
but-
auto.
what if the next gulag is all burst weapons and you get the
Oh my
FAMAS?
God.
Oh
Oh
god.
my god.
And-
Well, at least it'll be again equal playing field because
No, I still wouldn't want that. I would take
I
out my
don't know if
fist
you
before
guys
using
were-
that.
like kind of paying attention to most of the history of the Gulag, but it seems like most of the weapons don't have many attachments. It's very
Mhm.
bare bones.
Yeah.
if
Oh, they have
any.
throwing
So-
knives now too.
I feel like they
will
had
be
that
more
already
often.
last season too. 'Cause I got-
There's
I
throwing
got
knives in
killed by
there,
throwing
but
knives.
now it's going to be a lot more consistent.
throwing
I
knives
think they're
only?
kind of
Oh.
taking out not taking them out, but I don't think there's going to be as much grenades.
Mhm.
Can I
So-
just say the decoy grenades are really interesting?
It's
Like-
different. I like the scanner grenades too.
That too. It makes it interesting. But
There are-
anyways, let's not linger too much on.
Yeah,
Gulag.
let's try to get through these a little bit faster. We got some big weapon balancing changes. Most of
Balancing
the
my
semi-auto
ass.
weapons got increased ammo, like starting ammo. So like the Scar and the Odin,
Yeah,
and
so
then
not
like
not
the SKS
not the
and
clips themselves, just the amount
Yeah,
of
not-
ammo you're carrying in
Yeah,
your
makes sense.
inventory.
yeah, which is nice. Like the Scar and the Odin really suffered from
Yeah.
not
Tiny
having very
amount.
much reserve
Yeah,
ammo.
yeah.
Yeah, it had like very little reserve ammo. So that's a much needed buff for those guns.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even
They-
say that's a buff. I'd say that's just an adjustment. I mean,
Especially the
yeah.
SKS.
Technically.
Because the
Adjustment, yeah.
SKS was like not worth having in multiplayer.
especially when you
Yeah.
had
Oh.
the 10-round
Other-
mags.
other
Oh my
weapons.
god.
Yeah, because I think I was using that
You get
without
30 shots.
scavenger. Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I just killed 2 people. Now I'm out of ammo.
I'm
Yeah,
interested
completely.
about the SOCOM rounds though, because I don't like running fully loaded in multiplayer, but I love SOCOM rounds, and I would run out after like getting.
I wonder what
maybe,
they have it at. Maybe
like-
So
like
that's
80
the
instead.
thing.
bias.
No, so that's the thing is the starting ammo for the SOCOM rounds wasn't adjusted. It's
Oh, okay.
just the max ammo. So you're still going to need to run fully loaded or grab ammo from an ammo crate.
But the cool thing about the M4 is that I can find most of the ammo that on the ground most of the time. I don't know.
Does it? I don't think it's supposed to count.
Work?
I don't think you're supposed, because it's a different round.
It's not
so
5.56.
it's not 5.56 that you're running.
Because I thought it would be, if you have the M4, you can just pick up M4 ammo from the ground. Like, is it that
No,
simple,
I'm pretty sure it's actually applied to the round type.
Yeah, they
like,
changed it, I think.
Because I'm pretty sure that the AUG works like that. If you run the 5.56 mags on the AUG, you can pick up ammo from all the other 5.56 AR users.
Well, that sucks for me because no one uses SOCOM rounds.
Yeah.
And then sniper and marksman.
Anyway, so there are some sniper buffs. Kind of, the AX50 got a damage range buff, and the HDR got a guaranteed one hit to lower torso at any range. So basically, like consistency buffs, like making the snipers one shot more consistent at more ranges.
It's
this is multiplayer.
The only one that's going to be affected by anything is the HDR in Warzone.
So
or the AX50, sorry.
The AX50 in Warzone, because you're going to be able to one-shot headshot with the AX50 at a little bit longer range.
It's probably going to be it's going to be just shy of the HDR's damage range now. So
with the HDR,
is heavy.
One hit means
I think
kill, like dead, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So in multiplayer, if you hit somebody in the lower torso at any range, you'll kill them.
Wait, I thought this is this not Warzone?
No, not Warzone.
No, this is just multiplayer.
This is only multiplayer, right? Because in Warzone, you have increased HP. You have increased base HP.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. So, or at least because like the HDR, none of the sniper rifles one-shot body shot.
No.
If you have full armor,
it does.
Right.
Like
HDR
2.5 at max.
HDR, you can headshot kill, right?
Right, no, they can headshot through armor, but they can't body shot through armor. So I don't.
Gotcha.
They're describing this specifically as like one shots to lower torsos. I don't think this. This is maybe referring to like a completely unarmored opponent.
How about the so the AX50 range buff, damage range buff, will be effective in Warzone.
A little bit, right? So, like, if you bap somebody in the body, you're going to take a little bit more of their HP or their armor away.
Okay, so the bullet drop is still going to be just as bad for the AX50.
I assume so, because they just said increased damage range. They didn't say anything about ballistics.
Okay.
But who knows? The Call of Duty patch notes are bad and usually don't give you the full picture.
Vague.
Well, that, and not only that, but sometimes they don't even know how it's going to affect it. So they could increase the damage range, and then in the game it could be coded damage range
but
as
also,
like bullet
with
drop.
The A50, when I used to use it, it didn't really affect me much. Maybe it was just the range I used to use it at, but I just recently switched to the HDR because I might as well have all the advantage I can have in Warzone. But the AX50 usability never really was that far off from the HDR.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. The Car 98 and the MK2 both got buffs. The Car 98 got increased ADS speed and increased damage range. The MK2 got faster movement speed and increased damage range.
Unnecessary.
I don't understand these buffs at all. Both of these weapons are absolutely monsters in the right hands, and can like
I think they're trying to buff them for
dominate
Warzone,
a lobby.
You don't need to buff them for Warzone. Like
the
ADS speed,
it's already strong.
Right. Yeah. So like the thing with the Car 98 is like at a mid to long range, not like super long, like ridiculous across the map bullshit, but like mid to long range in Warzone, it's gonna outsnipe a sniper because its ADS is so fast. And now they just made it faster. I was using it earlier. It's literally like aiming down the sights of a SMG. Yeah, it's like holy shit.
It's essentially like allowing people to run around with a shotgun that they can kill people from any range with.
Right.
It's like ridiculous. I don't understand their logic behind this one.
Yeah.
And we'll see going forward when the MK2 and the Car 98 are going to be.
Yeah, that you say that,
it's going to be so annoying.
Now that you say that, I'm kind of like hesitant to be excited about it because I've been using the Car 98 a lot, so I was kind of excited to.
And it was already easy. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Is like I don't even use these guns, and if I pick one up off of somebody, it's a joke. They're so easy to use. You just aim at like the center torso with their ridiculously fast ADS and pop them.
Oh yeah.
An immediate kill. You can't react to it. There's nothing other people can do about it. It's just boom, immediate dead, right?
Yeah.
And like with shotguns are always a problem because you have to find this fine line between like the one-shot kill potential and like what range you can do that at, right?
Exactly.
And like these particular marksman rifles are basically like if you were just like what if shotgun but everywhere, what if shotgun but at any range, you know what I mean? I don't know. End of rant. I don't understand it though.
Yeah.
And whatever, we'll see.
But the Dragunov.
Yeah, Dragunov got huge buffs.
I still don't think it's
still not
going to
make it good.
Yeah. I mean,
why use the Dragunov when you could just use the Car 98?
Trash is trash.
Or like even more comparing it to something that's more in its like class. Why use the Dragunov when you can use the SKS?
Right.
Yeah,
right. They both have a 2-kill. Like, or for the most part, at most ranges, you're going to have a 2-hit kill minimum with the SKS.
Right, and the SKS still has the higher fire rate.
It has higher fire rate. It has better reload. It has better ADS time. You don't have to run a sniper scope with it.
The Dragunov has crazy recoil.
Well, one of part of this buff is that it got a big recoil.
It centers better. Buff. I think that's what the buff was.
One that people are like not talking about that I think is kind of interesting and kind of crazy. The FAL got a close range damage shelf with 1-shot headshot potential.
Stoked about that. That's pretty cool.
They haven't talked at all about, like, obviously here it doesn't say any ranges or whatever, so people are going to have to like go out and test it to see exactly how far away and like with the different barrels and stuff, the different ranges that you can be to get that 1-shot headshot potential.
Well, I mean, the M14 already had it, and I feel like the M14
the M14 and the SKS already had it. Right. So yeah, this is just putting the FAL, because the FAL, not in Warzone, because the FAL was already pretty good in Warzone.
Yeah.
But like in regular multiplayer, the FAL really was in need of something to. It kind of was stuck in this weird zone where it was like, it was better in the AR front to use the Odin because you had the full auto potential. And then if you were going to use a marksman rifle like a semi-auto weapon, you might as well as use the SKS or the MK16.
Right.
So now this will bring it a little bit more in line. It's like basically it's getting it off the fence. Right. It's putting it in one bracket, and they chose, I assume here from what it looks like, to kind of put it more in that marksman rifle bracket with the SKS. It makes me wonder if you now have 2-shot body shot potential, or like what exactly this is, because they don't reference anything about the body shot. They just talk about headshot potential. So did they increase the headshot multiplier on it, or did they increase the damage so at close range you like get that 1-shot potential, right? Yeah. So like if that's the case, right, I'm pretty sure you get like double headshot damage, right? So your weapon has to do 50 damage to be able to get that 1-shot headshot potential, which would give it a 2-shot body shot potential at that range.
Right? Well, so here's the deal with, but if you're at a bad place, then you would probably use the FAL, but that's like 10% of the time. The other 90% of the time, you would just probably break out an SMG at close range. So I don't know if this would be a great use.
Right. So the question is like, when they say close range, what is that range, right? What is close range for the FAL, right?
It's probably going to be what's considered a mid-range for an SMG.
Right.
Yeah, because
if
you're running overkill, the goal is to fill in the gaps of the of the shelves. Fill in the gaps so you know exactly when to switch weapons and when to use a certain weapon. When you're buffing assault rifle for close range, when you already have that covered.
I don't think this is a buff for close range. I think this is the buff to bring it more in line with the other marksman rifles.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
that's exactly
So I feel
what it
like
is.
I feel like it's going to end up performing like the MK16 with its like short barrel.
Okay.
Right. It's going to have like that type of headshot range potential,
it
which is
needed
like
to be this
effectively
from the
kind of
beginning.
middle range. Yeah, the foul's always been
And
kind
the
of weak.
foul should have been put into the marksman rifles, not the assault rifles, in the first place. I know that
I
they're.
don't agree with that. I
but
really,
that would
realistically, I
nerf
think
it too much.
the foul deserves a full auto attachment. Like you should
I'd
be
be
able
interested
to
to see
switch the
that.
foul into full auto.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
um,
That was in the older games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's crazy.
Nice.
Anyway, let's move on. The CR56 got a slight decrease to its damage range, which is interesting. Now we're getting into the big buffs. The MP5 got.
Whoa! Hold on.
Oh,
You
God.
just skipped
Oh,
over my
God.
baby.
Wait a
What?
There
minute.
was a
Baby.
buff to the AK-47.
Oh, who cares?
No, I
There's a
care.
small ADS
Oh,
speed
my
increase. To
I-
the
That's tiny.
AK-47.
No,
Trust me.
I
The
don't
Hoger
care.
that got the 80s, you don't even notice it. It's not even.
No. You don't
It's
understand.
probably like one frame.
Yeah,
I needed
But who
it.
uses the AK now that the AMAC is here?
Anyway, let's move on to guns that
Oh
actually
my-
matter. The MP5 got a
AK
10
matters.
damage decrease, right? Got a
Mhm.
10 damage decrease for the, or let me rephrase this.
Go
It
on.
got range decreases for
So-
both its regular 9mm mags and its 10mm mags.
But the 10 got
also
nerfed
had
harder.
the 10 got nerfed harder. It got a flat damage reduction as well to its long range potential and a recoil increase.
Right.
I find this interesting because I don't think, as far as I know, that so these next two changes, this MP5 change, the next change for the Grau that we're going to be going into, are specifically kind of focused towards Warzone, right?
Right.
And correct me if I'm
Insane.
wrong, but I feel like more people were running the 45 9mm mags
Yes.
than they were the
That
10
is
millimeter
the gold
mags.
standard. I feel like
Yeah.
98%
Right,
of
so-
people are doing
Like
that.
if you recall using the MP5, that thing is still a laser. So using it as a regular, like what it's used for as an SMG, I think it's still 100% usable in Warzone.
Yeah.
With these
and
nerfs.
ultimately, like, I don't think these change anything for how the weapon was being
It didn't
used.
do anything to
right?
the MP5.
It was
really.
like people used it as like a pocket spray and parry weapon to use.
Yeah.
Like you would use your Grau at long range, and then when you needed to run up really close to somebody, you would pull out the MP5 and just spray them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these
So, put that
decreases
in
to damage
perspective.
range, I don't see how these affect anything other than the having an effect in
So-
multiplayer.
It
which
doesn't affect
obviously will.
multiplayer though. No, it like
It doesn't at all.
No,
What
I'm
I'm
pretty sure it
seeing,
does.
it's very, very low. It's very low.
No. It shouldn't, because multiplayer is definitely like a
Unless if
tighter
you're
place
using an
to use it in.
MP5 on like what's that one map with the school and the long streets? That's like the
I
only
don't
one
know.
I can think of.
Because
but
when
hey-
I was leveling up the MP5 in multiplayer, like I could pretty much kill someone without aiming down sights. Like it's
Exa-
laser.
Yeah.
across
So
the whole
put it
map.
in perspective. All the builds in Warzone for the MP5 before this nerf was the most compact you could get the MP5, and still you could laser people at its max range because it had minimal recoil. So that's how strong the MP5 is, and it's still pretty strong in my opinion, without even trying out the new MP5.
Have I tried it?
I don't think it's gonna be that huge of a nerf. I think the Grau got hit harder. If you wanna,
Yeah, let's talk
Go to
about
that.
that.
It got
Oh,
hit
what
harder,
happened?
but again,
it's still not enough.
it didn't get hit enough. So I've seen like multiple testing videos at this point.
That's the
They
salty boys.
they decreased damage range. They slightly increased recoil. It looks like the recoil is mostly more of a horizontal recoil that they added. And they reduced recoil and damage range on both the Tempest 26-inch and the FSS 20.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Wait,
Wait,
feel
increased recoil? You mean?
Increased recoil, yeah.
Compensation.
They word it as reduced recoil compensation.
Oh, okay.
So,
I feel like
yeah,
who's
that's
gonna
wording is
feel the most from that is controller players.
yeah, exactly.
It's not gonna be the PC people.
Yeah,
I
that's-
feel like there's gonna be another.
Controller players.
Well, I mean, like being in between both right now, that's a little infuriating because like I know everyone says, oh, controller players have aim assist and that gives them an advantage and blah blah. It's just like no, that's trying to even the playing field.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like they
because
need, like the controller needs that, and
mhm,
even then, they're not on a even
controller
playing
players
field.
are very handicapped just
Mhm.
given how the whole
The scheme of things
medium
though,
is.
think of something that's completely free access and then like look at a grid and the grid is the controller. That's how you look around, is little squares that you're moving through, and it feels it's like you're
Yeah,
attacking one
Yeah.
specific group.
definitely an inferior medium.
Oh yeah. Like I don't know how you still play controller VJ because
It's
like trying
passive to me. That's the
trying
reason why I
first
can still
person
do it.
shooters, it's like oh my god, it's
Like
so
Yeah.
clunky.
I'm at the point of 95% of the time I'm playing on keyboard and mouse now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
I will
good.
tell you right now, I'm going to put this out there for everyone that plays on controller that on PC and has the availability of PC. I know not everyone can afford it, so that's just my disclaimer. Try PC or the keyboard and mouse because it will make a difference. I've doubled my usual kills in Warzone by switching to it. That being said, I'm still in the transition into keyboard and mouse. So I'm having, and anyone that's seen Stone Mountain's videos recently where he's playing on a controller, where he's talking about like it's a conscious, you have to consciously be sitting there thinking about what you're doing, what you're pressing. I'm still in that mode and it's hard. Whereas in the controller, I swapped back. I'm not suffering from that. Like I realized, oh, I can pick this up. Like last night when John was streaming, I was playing passively just to kind of like, you know, do something, level up a gun.
You weren't paying
Oh,
attention to the
I
look
asked
at
for
you.
permission before the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
even.
I wouldn't have
Oh.
cared if you didn't either, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so like I picked up the controller because I wanted to be engaged in the chat and passively playing. I was doing dog shit, but I could still sit there and pick up the controller. Whereas with the keyboard, I wouldn't been talking at all, and I know that. And so I still have to be 1,000% involved in the movement.
Yeah.
At
Well, I
this
think
moment.
it's kind of like typing. It's like once you are familiar with the keyboard and
It's
all the
muscle
buttons,
memory.
yeah, it's muscle memory.
And I'll
so
get
it's
there.
fine.
And
Yeah.
but I will tell
It takes
anyone
time.
that's wanting to learn keyboard and mouse but hasn't taken that leap, there is a difference, and
Yeah,
try it
you're gonna
at
suck
least
at
once.
first. No, try it like multiple times because again, it's muscle memory.
And
You
it
have to
takes
keep
Yeah.
practicing.
Well,
For
and if you transition, you'll be
Yeah.
better off for it. You'll just be
Yeah.
better
Right.
at video games if you
Yeah.
play with your mouse and keyboard.
right,
You'll
and I've been at it
realize
for 2 weeks now.
you'll realize that aim assist is not like it's you'll figure out that you can afford to lose aim assist for the benefits out of keyboard and mouse.
That being said, though, it is, at least for me right now. Maybe it will get better. Sniping is a little bit more difficult for me on the mouse because the aim assist helps a lot with sniping.
You mean cheating?
That's why those cheaters always hit me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Controllers.
PJ, you just have to develop that twitch. You'll get
Yeah.
it eventually.
I don't know.
The
I feel
flick
opposite.
shots.
I feel like it's way easier to snipe with the
Yeah,
mouse and
'cause-
keyboard. You just point and click, dog.
It's,
Yeah,
I
point
think it's
click,
just because
exactly.
I'm holding the mouse too sturdy, so it's stiffening. my
Keyboard-
ability.
crushing your
the,
mouse.
the,
Yeah.
the controller, you just literally scan over the person and just
It
fire at the
locks.
right time,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like,
It's like yeah, you're just clicking on what you want to shoot at.
So the other thing I want to point out with the Grau and MP5 nerfs, they also nerfed the no stock attachment perk to make it so
And this
there's
goes.
more.
This is for everything. This is the no
Right.
stock attachment in general. So
Right.
this has an effect on your M4s, your everything.
And
that
finally,
people
'cause
run
that's
with no stock,
stupid,
like
like-
they
What did it
should.
do?
they made it so that there's less stability if you take the stock off, because that was like it shows
Okay,
that there's
yeah.
less stability, but the stats actually don't reflect properly
Oh,
in
Now
the game
you get
versus
a
on paper.
big wobble.
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Big wobble.
Oh,
which
like
needed to
that's-
happen for a while.
So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see what the former meta of the MP5 was with the no stock attachment, the most compact MP5.
Oh, it's gonna be horrendous now. The gun's gonna flip out of your hands.
Yeah.
So
But at the same time, will it still maintain that use of where it should actually be as an SMG instead of touching that mid range where only assault rifles
you're gonna
should
see
touch?
the meta from last season more consistently.
Yeah.
Probably with M13s, with scopes on them.
M4s are probably going to work a little bit more in there as well.
Exactly, and then
That's good.
You
swapped
might
in
see
there with the MP5 for
the
close
kilo
range.
come back.
Oh yeah, for sure the kilo. I'm throwing kilos into my classes now.
And you're still going to see grouse because like
Yeah.
most of the people that I've seen do like testing videos and stuff on the nerfs today are still saying that the grouse probably going to be the meta weapon because they didn't nerf it enough to make it not the best weapon anymore. It's still the
And I
best
agree.
weapon.
I think people like in the internet are overreacting too much about the nerfs to the MP5 and Grau. I think the balance changes are good,
You
and
need
like you were saying,
change.
there
It's
might be
like it
more
shouldn't be a
needed.
season and a half of playing the same damn two weapons.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Like there should be some variety. I don't buy a game to play with two weapons. But
well, I mean, usually you buy a game and then the next one comes out and you buy the next one. This one is different.
no, but you know what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's a great point. Like, you don't want to be playing the same two weapons because this game
The game
is
gets stale,
gonna be here
right?
Oh yeah,
forever.
oh,
And it's
yeah.
like what I go back to that's like to jump back to Fortnite, right? Fortnite, you don't have loadouts or anything. So like you use what you get.
Yeah, that's why I
And
still want.
every game is
Yes,
different and interesting because you have to use the
Yeah.
tools that are available to you.
Yeah.
They just need
Whereas
to make
like
that classic because we haven't
the
seen
Yeah.
it in a while.
yeah, the way well
Yeah.
really they just need to get rid of loadouts.
Yeah, no loadout.
Like
Yeah.
because like everything else in there is great. Like the
Yeah.
gulag is cool and the buying
Yeah,
and
that's why I
the
don't like
the kill
like,
streaks.
classic.
That's all cool
they-
and are great additions to the franchise or like to the genre.
If
But
they
like
re-
loadouts inherently make the game stale.
Yeah, it's fun
What
playing
they-
with new
if-
guns.
if they want a compromise, they can get rid of loadouts and compromise and replace it with a perk like briefcase or something. So people still get the perks that really like
Yeah,
remind
I
it.
actually hate perks as well, but
Uh,
I don't like the
I
I don't
like-
like the perks in
I'm okay with
Battle
I like the
Royale.
perks because it adds a different like you can play to your play style.
Yeah.
Like people run.
Nah, I
people-
hate where you now don't know like what you're going up against,
Yeah.
and like the other it
I-
adds this layer of like unknown of
Well, I like
like
having-
do they
that
have
makes
ghost?
it
Do they not
fun.
have ghost?
I like having the
I
squad.
I think
dynamic.
it throws like a
Yeah.
I think it throws the balance out of whack.
So
I don't like the
see,
perks.
I like what John's saying. Go ahead, John.
like the squad. Yeah, so it's like every person has their own unique perk that kind of brings something to the team, which I like
So
because
So
Yeah.
what with our an example, what we're working
which is
with right
Battlefield. I just went
now,
Battlefield, I guess.
PJ is our designated sniper. John is our
Sure.
mid range. He uses the heartbeat sensor, and I'm mostly close range with the car 98, so I can snipe through mid to long
Okay,
range.
so those are
And
guns.
I use
right?
a vector, but I'm using certain perks. I'm using extreme conditioning, and I'm using amped, and I'm using overkill for now as my first loadout. So it depends on the play style, and
I'm using spotters, so it's like I know when I'm getting spotted. So when they're sniping, I can kind of watch out behind us, and I know when we get spotted because it tells me when I get spotted.
It's
So-
if you think about the whole squad, it benefits us if we're working together and using everybody else's perks when we can't fit everybody else's perks together.
Right.
You catch my
Sure.
drift.
I like
It-
that.
I get it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
maybe I just
cool.
want
It's just like my opinion is I hate that and wish
Yeah.
nobody had anything.
Yeah.
But
Like
see,
that's how I feel about it.
really quickly, like I like classic. It's nice because it strips away everything, but at the same time, I don't know if I can play so much classic
No,
because
I
it'll
can't.
get boring quickly.
Yeah.
So I really hope they find a happy medium by
Yeah.
implementing some aspects.
I don't know.
Of
I feel
standard Warzone.
different about that. I feel like regular battle royale is boring because it's the same
But
thing every
also,
time. It's
Joey,
get
you're
your
coming
Grau and your
from-
M4 or
you're
your
coming
Grau and your
from-
MP5. and
That's the thing, because like whenever we don't get a crate for a long time, I'm like I don't want to get a crate because these guns I've never used
Yeah,
before are kind of
that's
fun to
true.
play with. So yeah,
That's
I
why I'm
do
saying a
not
perk
want-
briefcase would be perfect. But Joey, you're also coming from like playing a lot of other battle royales where I found those like even Apex adding those power ups and all that wasn't my cup of tea, and I still felt like it wasn't like smooth per se because I'm always hunting and trying to build my loadout because of all the attachments on the fly and stuff like that.
Right. So
So-
I don't really like Apex either. my favorite like iteration of battle royale has been Battlefield, because it's
okay.
like Call of Duty in the sense of like you drop and there's gun variants and stuff on the ground, but there's no loadouts. It even has like kill streaks and stuff like that.
You're talking about Firestorm, right?
Firestorm, yeah.
Okay.
And it even has the plate mechanics. Like they took
I
those plate
actually-
mechanics from Battlefield, right? But
Yeah.
it doesn't have loadouts. It doesn't have perks. Like it's just straight up like fighting. There's no like
I
weird
actually
elements
missed that
going
vote.
on.
I never really played Firestorm.
Well,
I
and
didn't play it too.
the problem with it is that they didn't put it out for free. Like it was
Oh,
locked
that's why,
behind
okay.
the purchase of Battlefield 5, and nobody wanted to buy Battlefield 5. So it
But,
meant
yeah.
that they basically put Firestorm out to die.
Oh,
But I bet
I
you
remember
we'll see
doing-
in the next Battlefield, it'll probably have a battle royale.
Does it have a class
And-
system in the battle royale, or is it just
No.
completely?
Joey,
It's just completely. It's
Mhm.
very, very similar to Call of Duty's battle royale, but just without the loadouts. And I don't think they had buy stations, but they had a similar type of like. They had a similar mechanic to the contract where you had to go to a location, the like scouting contract,
Mm-hmm.
where there were locations on the map where if you went and took them, you got stuff. You got like a box of stuff.
I think the next buff will be Garrick, one of Garrick's favorites.
well,
What's that?
wait, really quick. I just want to say I remember why I didn't get into Firestorm, or like because PJ and I have Battlefield 5, but
What?
we were already on our way out.
Yeah,
Like
game was
we were
too
already
old for
tired
us.
of Battlefield 5 because it
You
wasn't
guys
our cup
played
of
Battlefield
tea.
5? What the heck?
And around that time, that's
Okay,
when they
Battlefield
released
5.
Firestorm. And we were like, nah, it's too late for us. So we never gave it the light of day, unfortunately. But go ahead, PJ.
Oh,
Well, no. Before we move on, I want to jump back to a few things. Some
Okay.
things that we already talked about to highlight them more. The one-shot kill range for the FAL looks to be about 17 meters,
okay.
Okay.
So
which
that's
is
about the
kind
end of a range of a submachine gun, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe a little. It's maybe like
Not
the
the
beginning
end.
of medium range.
That's what I'm saying. So that's exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Your range reductions to the AMAX are pretty inconsequential, and
Okay.
not really. It's only like maybe 2 or 3 meters. It looks like.
And the thing that's the most important, that AK-47 ADS speed.
Yeah.
Oh my
You're not gonna notice it.
Um,
Like,
the-
probably 2 frames.
the MP5 and the ground nerfs to their range do affect multiplayer.
Mhm.
So the 9 millis got hit pretty hard on the range front.
Oh wow.
And the 10 millimeters not so much, but they got hit with the recoil.
That's weird because I
Nerf.
feel like there was more nerfs to the 10 millimeters. But
There were more, but
on paper?
the actual statistical nerf looks like it was bigger to
On
the
the
9
9.
millis.
okay, that makes sense. 'Cause
And I
mean,
think it's just because the 10 millimeter rounds also got a recoil control nerf.
well, that and plus most people don't use it, so it's like they're not going to nerf something no one uses. I mean, maybe we'll start seeing a resurgence of it
Yeah.
now. But yeah, how about Garrick's favorite buff of the night?
What's Garrick's favorite buff of the night?
Shotgun slug.
But it don't. I don't
don't
use
use slugs, do
shotgun
you?
slugs though.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Oh,
it might.
wait. Also, I got those numbers from Exclusive 8s. Exclusive 8s does like Call of Duty testing
Oh,
content. Go check his
oh,
channel
Oh
out
wow.
whenever there's
What
patch
a quick
notes.
turnaround.
Yeah, he's always super quick and getting the like numbers out and
Gee.
stuff. So
um,
big ups to him.
But will the so I think this might help you a little bit in Warzone. Do the slug buffs affect Warzone? Because it's going to increase the range on
Yeah,
the
it
shotguns,
should.
right?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, but
So-
the problem is it only affects slug, not buckshot. No one uses slugs. That's why they're
They don't pick
trying
up
to
slugs.
increase. They're trying to buff it.
I mean, well, okay. So your 725s in modern or in multiplayer might be better, right? Like you don't use slugs at
First
all.
of all, PJ,
Nobody
know what-
uses slugs at
nobody
all.
uses
PJ, do you know what slugs are?
The slugs are the increased range, are they not?
They're the shellless.
No,
No,
okay, so a
slugs
slug
are
is a single
whole
round.
bullets. It's a
Yeah.
giant bullet.
Oh.
Buckshot is the standard ammo type. So yeah.
Oh.
So it's
So,
kind of like
like-
a false positive here. I won't benefit from this much, or
Well,
neither will
It
anyone
depends,
else.
right? So like I remember back in the Battlefield games, right? You could throw slug rounds into your like, Remington and basically snipe with it.
Mhm.
Right, you throw a sniper scope on it and throw slug rounds in it and snipe with it because it had the one-shot headshot potential of like all ranges, right? So I think like I kind of feel like this is an attempt to make shotgun slugs perform like the marksman rifles that they just buffed.
And it's possible. So so to put that in perspective, I'm doing that with the Model 680 right now, and it's really tough to unlock the challenges or complete the challenges because of doing the marksman sniper scope shotgun. It's the range is way too short. So
Right.
doing it for the purpose of beating a challenge, then yeah, but doing it as like an everyday build, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's still beneficial yet.
But like I said, who knows? Like there
It might
might
be
be testing that needs to be done, but you might be able to use it like a marksman rifle and like snipe with it at close or at longer range while still having it be like a close range option.
It's definitely a hilarious thing to be sniping with a shotgun and people realizing that they just got sniped by a shotgun, but like the novelty of it's cool.
Yeah, when we did the long range challenge for the 724, that was fun, frustrating but fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, we're gonna close out here. We're almost done. They had a new sniper rifle called the Rytec AMR.
Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like a Barrett 50 cal, correct?
Yeah, basically.
Do you know?
Anyway.
Wait, before we move on to that, does anybody here besides Joey knows what AMR stands for? Don't look it up.
No.
Okay, go ahead, PJ.
Huh? AMR?
What does AMR stand for?
Automatic.
A massive rifle.
A massive
Close.
rifle. Oh, really?
All right, go ahead, Joey.
AMR stands for anti-material rifle.
Oh, okay.
They're generally used for stopping vehicles and things like that, right? So you dump a 50 cal round into the engine block and
so with
stop
that said,
a technical.
So why is this being used on infantry?
Because you can still use it
on infantry. It's still a big bullet that will
you
kill,
can cut them in half, John.
Yeah, that's overkill. Isn't that against the Geneva?
No, well,
no, it's a quick kill.
The ballistics of the large round give it like good ballistics at very very long range. So it's a lot of the 50 cal like rifles hold the records for like longest sniper kills and stuff like that.
I know what BMG stands for. Big motherfucking gun.
Yep.
That's not.
It's BFG. It's not BMG. That's background music, you dork. Or background.
Oh
it's
my
BGM.
God.
I'm a dork. I'm a dork now. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh no, everyone's getting tired.
Everyone's a dork.
We're all doing acronyms.
I was right though.
Background
Motherfucking has an M in it.
But that's not the name of the weapon.
I don't care. That's what
Joey,
that's
school us. I didn't actually research this, but what does BMG stand for?
No, it's.
Okay, I was making a joke. You don't have to kill it, man.
But your joke is bad and
it's perfect
on falsehood.
Yeah.
BFG is a doom gun.
BFG is a doom gun that you're right stands for big fucking gun, but it's not big motherfucking gun. It's the BFG.
Did you know it was a doom gun?
What BFG stands for big? Wait, Big Friendly Giant. No,
yes,
Big Friendly
the movie.
Giant. The movie. Oh, the book.
But PJ, did you know that was a doom gun? Because I didn't know.
I did not know that.
Really?
Oh,
that's like such.
I
it's
never
like the
gun.
staple doom gun.
But I didn't play Doom,
lucky.
so I don't know.
Even if you didn't play, that's like a staple video game gun.
So PJ's joke is even less valid because he just pulled it out of his ass.
No, that makes it more valid, does it not?
It would have been cool if it would have been like a
Yeah, I
like
subconsciously named an actual
or reference to another game.
Well, you know what? It is what
I think it's a fail joke.
No, I think it's more of you heard somebody say something like that before, and then your brain misinterpreted.
Even worse.
I legit was just sitting there, and I was just like, "What the hell does BMG stand for?" And in my head, I was just like, "I'm gonna say that because it sounds funny."
Okay, well, to close that part out, Joey, what does it mean?
Well, if we're talking about the Doom gun,
no, right here.
BMG.
Call of Duty.
I actually don't know what BMG stands
Joey.
for. Yeah, I know it's terrible, right?
Move on to the next topic, and I'll look it up.
It's
anyway.
a basic material gun.
No, it stands for Browning machine gun.
Oh.
I should have known that actually.
What?
Yeah, it's the 50 caliber cartridge
Oh.
that's used in the Browning,
Oh,
the
okay.
1919.
That makes plenty of
I
sense now.
think.
Once
Yeah.
again, all of the eye rolls from the gun enthusiasts in the
Yeah,
listeners.
sorry.
Sorry.
But
We're-
anyways,
we don't know.
let's finish up with Call of Duty Corner with a couple honorable
Oh,
mentions.
why these
Shall
honorable
we?
mentions? Okay.
Just mostly.
I just want like slow motions of all of the stuff like AFE used to do.
just mostly quality of life stuff called like team wipe. You know how you would always have to call
Dude.
out team wipe to the rest
Finally.
of
I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
that shows up in
Jeez
the kill
Louise.
feed, so you can be lazy and just let
That,
people.
no, that should have been like already
agree.
there day one.
Agreed.
And also a couple like they should another quality of life thing they should do is add more information in your hotbar on the bottom left hand corner of each character, so you don't have to keep asking like, oh, do you have this, do you have that,
Yeah.
do you have like, it only shows self revive, but that's another story. Another one would be 3 precision airstrikes allowed in the immediate area.
Oh, was that another thing?
So it's basically, I mean, you can drop 3 airstrikes on the
So
same location.
you know that glitch was
Yeah.
happening, John, where you were trying to call an airstrike and it kept saying that the skies were full.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just like
It could have been an
separate.
extended
Because
glitch.
I was doing that every time. and-
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
Yeah,
so-
that's a bug I hope they fix, but I think this allows more ordnance to come down, but also it allows you to put ordnance down while somebody else is putting ordnance
Right. So
down,
if someone
as in your
airstrikes
enemy.
you can airstrike them back.
Yeah, because
type
it
of
locks
thing.
down. It used to lock down the whole airspace with just one airstrike, which is annoying.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's
That's
cool.
But
interesting.
one thing I don't know for the next thing,
Yeah,
this
what's
is not a
this mean?
quality of life thing because I'm not sure what it is. Gas
This
mask
should change,
can
yeah.
crack when taking damage near
So,
or in the circle.
This is my
What does
guess
that
to it. I was thinking about it just now. I feel like when your gas mask is on and you're getting shot, it starts cracking. That way, it's like a visual
shooting the-
crack, and
Oh.
it starts appearing on your vision when you're
But
shooting.
it
Someone
also-
shooting you?
I feel like it probably actually will break.
Like,
Yeah,
if someone's shooting you,
I
you
agree
get
with
gas
Joey.
mass
Yeah.
damage.
like if
So
you
that'd
take
be
a
kind of
headshot hit or
interesting.
something,
Kind of stupid, but okay.
like you have to remove your gas mask because it's not functional. Because when it cracks, yeah, you can't breathe. You can't. You broke the seal.
Wait,
Because
what?
if you notice the animation when your gas mask is done, it cracks and then you have to take it off. So
Uh-huh.
I think Joey's right.
Yeah, let's see how
Yeah.
that ends up going.
I'm so confused.
I don't
Okay.
really understand this
too.
change.
We'll
It
find out when we
seems-
play, obviously, and we'll be able to
I'm
report
just
back.
excited about the team wipe situation.
I
Yeah,
mean,
me
from a perspective of, I don't really understand what the purpose of this change is.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Gas max
Like,
cracks when taking damage near or in circle.
Like, was there an issue with people hanging out in the gas with gas masks
Yeah.
on, or like,
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like,
that's
was that?
it's
like,
an
really a big
advantage
issue?
of the person. Yeah, that's an advantage of the person that has a gas mask in the gas versus the one
Isn't
that
the
doesn't.
whole point about? That's the whole point
It's
for a
supposed
gas
to be
mask. You can
tactical.
stay in the circle.
Right.
To attack
So
people.
I don't know. I don't know what the objective is.
So
I'm
it's
just
like-
saying like that is
Yeah.
something that is prevalent. So I'm wondering if
And-
that's what they're addressing.
Also, maybe so. This is a case, right, where we are treating the symptoms, not the cause.
Right.
Right. I think the cause of the issue of you being powerful in the gas is because it is easier to see out of the gas into the
Yeah.
ring than it is to see
Okay.
from the ring into the gas. And if they would just
So
go
should they-
in and change that so you
Mhm.
can't see out of the gas and you can easily see into the gas,
Kind of like in Fortnite with the storm.
exactly, you completely fix this issue
Yeah.
Yeah.
without
Even
doing this
making, like,
weird
the screen,
band-aid fix.
like that
Because
gas
ultimately, all this
mixture.
is really going to do is like hurt players trying to get back into the circle.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It stacks more cards against them,
Right.
and that's not how it should be.
It's a funky
You're already
thing that they
disadvantaged.
did
like,
there.
what the heck?
But
Yeah.
We'll
we
see.
got to see it in practice
what it is,
first. It could
yeah.
be reverted instantly too. We don't
That's
know.
true.
Yeah.
Also, who knows? Maybe it doesn't really work like that. We don't
Yeah.
actually really
Yeah.
know how
Yeah,
it works.
we shall
So
see.
Yeah.
We'll let you know
report
in
next week.
yeah. We'll do another hour and a half worth of Call of Duty Corner to review it.
Is it cool
Anyways.
if I take that last topic? It was supposed to be longer.
That's what she said.
we were going to.
Oh my.
God, we were gonna do an indie game quickie, but indie game quickie. Indie game quickie.
Yeah.
Just real quick, it's gonna be one
Yep.
indie game quickie because it got
Quickie,
released
quickie.
yesterday. It's called
What?
Project Cinco. It's actually a
Oh.
free game on Steam. It's an action
Free.
adventure game, hack and slash ish,
Oh.
over the top. I guess, yeah, asymmetric is what you called it, or you're
Isometric?
isometric, whatever it is.
Asymmetric, where you have like, wait,
No,
is it like
That's not-
two
that looks like
different
a third
sides,
person.
or is
kind
it
of
like?
isometric,
Are we talking
yeah.
about the view?
The view. It's kind of
That's-
weird
Oh,
because it's
that's
not
isometric.
directly overhead, and it looks
Yeah.
like it shifts a little bit. But it looks like a cool like action adventure game for anyone that's looking for one on Steam right now. It's completely free.
Why is it free? How do you do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering too. But I realized that afterwards. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
I'm
But
suspicious.
and it's a hack and slash, so anyone that's into that kind of stuff, I might check it out myself.
It appears to be a student game,
Oh.
so I'm guessing that's why it's free.
Ah,
Oh, that's
okay.
cool.
So
That's
show
cool.
some
Good
love
job,
and
students.
support to looks like Digipin Institute of Technology is the publisher, and the developers Digipin
Oh.
Europe
Okay, so it's a
Bio.
university.
Yeah,
So,
if you go onto the Steam page, they list the
Oh,
developers.
here we go. Got it.
exactly. So
And
yeah,
there's
go.
two,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
there's
Good
two
job,
people
guys.
there's two people that upvoted it. They reviewed it and they like it. So
It looks
job,
cool.
Sam.
I watched some YouTube videos on it, and it looks like it's well developed and very good, like hack and slash action game.
that's
So
awesome.
take a look at that. Go show them some love and support. We are all about making sure that small communities and individual projects get some
Just creators in chat.
some publicity. Let them know that they did a good job. They obviously put a lot of work into this, and
Well,
this
did
looks
they do
better
their
than
job?
some AAA games that are in the same genre. So, good for them.
Well, you gonna review it?
I will try it out. I'm pressing play game right now, and I will install it.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'll give you guys my feedback next
Okay,
week.
let's do a live feedback right now
Live
while
feedback,
we're
yeah.
recording.
Okay.
All right, I think that's going to do it for us here. Before we go, what's
What
going
happened?
on the YouTube this week?
What's going on?
Uh,
There's videos,
I'm
right?
asking what
Yeah.
what
Uh,
videos are coming out.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed actually
on the
just came
day-
out yesterday when this
Well,
is
that
posted.
means
Well,
2
there'll
days
be
ago.
another one next
So,
week.
and you're gonna
Oh,
have
no.
this video today, and then which is Wednesday, and then
Uh-huh.
the next day is gonna be some Child of Light, and then we are gonna have another
Wow.
Call of Duty Warzone
Wow,
W
Yeah.
so
coming
many
out.
W's.
And,
Wow.
and spoiler alert, we did win another one, so
Wow.
my series is still living on. So
Yep.
we'll
Still
have
living.
2 series.
And we're working on another
dream
one
is
now.
alive.
I'm living by the skin of my teeth. We need to win more.
And then for John, you want to tell him or you want me
Oh.
to?
The cameraman
Wait, what?
About your podcast.
podcast.
The Phat Peeps podcast, what you're listening to right now. Tune in next week for another round of
Oh,
Phat
the
Peeps podcast.
stream.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
the
Being
stream.
sarcastic.
The cameraman John
the
podcast.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, sometimes the weekend. I don't know, maybe not. 6:30 California time. We do.
Wait a minute,
streams.
John.
Wait,
What have we been playing?
Oh, we've been playing. Oh, I've been playing Subnautica on Mondays.
Wow.
Wednesdays we've been playing a game called The Forest. It's a fun
Oh.
survival game.
Every
And then,
single week I'm gonna die.
And then Friday, I'm not sure if this is gonna stick, but it's gonna be our Call of Duty exercise.
Fitness Fridays.
Fitness
It's gonna stick.
Fridays.
We're gonna
Sweat
make
or
it stick.
sweat.
Sweat or sweat. We're
'Cause
gonna
I'm getting
try-
fat, John, so we
Yeah, me
need to do
too.
this at
Me
least
too.
every Friday.
And if it's
Yeah.
not going to be in Call of Duty, we got to find another thing. So like Monopoly, every time you take a
Yeah.
hit, you do squats or something. I don't know.
Wait,
John-
wait, hold on. What are you taking hits in Monopoly? Wait, what?
I'm picking a
What-
random game that we can still apply the rules to.
No, what are you
But-
hitting in Monopoly?
No, every
What
time you
the
take a
heck?
hit, like a money hit, like you lose money.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I was like, wait, like violent
Like
hit or
a
like
hammer?
drug
Like
hits or what?
No.
But,
Go-
Oh,
Joey,
but one
just
more thing, John.
before we
John,
talk,
do you want to plug spoil this for people who are listening the podcast for this weekend?
no, just say Saturday. Tune in.
Okay.
And
Saturday,
if you're
yeah.
not
Tune
there,
in.
you're gonna miss some shit.
If you're
Okay.
American, celebrate July 4th with us on Saturday.
if
Even
made
if you're
it
not
that
American,
far,
come
If you're not
If you're
American,
American,
still come
drink
hang out.
Yeah,
Doesn't
with
matter.
us.
Just come hang out.
Learn our weird culture.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
cheeseburgers and
Yeah.
milkshakes.
We're not gonna
Maybe-
be able to celebrate outside. We'll celebrate indoors with you guys.
Maybe you can guess what we'll be playing by the time we get there. Yassine.
I'm so tired. Good night,
I'm tired.
everybody.
Hi,
Good
Bye.
night.
Tim.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks.
Tim?
Tim,
Hello?
is that you,
Tim?
Tim?
Hello?
Hark, I
He's
hear
coming
that
in.
Tim
He's
is
coming in.
music.